Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Street Champs. Quick shout out to our sponsors, Rocky Mountain Blaze and Big Bear Wine and Liquors. Anything we're smoking on, I'm smoking from Rocky Mountain Blaze, and anything we're drinking from Big Bear. Yeah. All right, today I got rising country superstar and Pueblo native Cody Cozz in the building tonight.
What's happening, boys?
Hell yeah, bro. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm real good.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you for having me.
For sure,
Appreciate it. Big Bear, thanks for hooking us up with this awesome bourbon.
Hell yeah. Thanks so much for coming, bro.
Absolutely.
And hell yeah. There's no one I'd rather share this bourbon with, bro.
Good.
Hell yeah. I don't usually drink hard liquor, but I'll do it with you.
We'll end up finishing the bottle, hopefully.
Let's get it then. Hell yeah. So tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man. Like you said, I'm a Pueblo native. Just started doing music about 2 years ago, full time. And I just recently signed a publishing deal out in Nashville, Tennessee, and have had some amazing opportunities because of Pueblo. And due to that, I'm moving out to Nashville here in a couple weeks, actually. And this is actually kind of the last little thing that I'm doing in Pueblo before I move. And my first single hits national radio at the beginning of February. And really excited about that. I've got a clip for you guys since I am the first country person. I hope there's going to be more. Like I said, Pueblo native, born and raised, love Pueblo. And, I'll just kind of let the questions go on, but I have a lot to say for Pueblo, so.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited to get into it.
Definitely.
So, how old are you?
I'm 23.
23?
Yes, sir. I turned 24 March 27th.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Happy early birthday. I don't think I'll see you.
Yeah, thank you. We will. I'll get you out to Tennessee.
For sure. I need that. I need the Cody Cozz backstage pass.
Yes, sir.
So, all right. So, before we get into all that, let's start from the beginning, man. Did you grow up with both parents in your life?
I did, yeah. They've been married for, I think, 28 years. December 17th was their anniversary, I think. And so they've been together for a long time. I've been real fortunate. It's about 50-50 nowadays for the divorce rate. But I've been really lucky that my parents stayed together. And, I have a good family at home, so I've been real fortunate with that. And without them, I wouldn't be able to survive, do the things that I've done in my life. So
for sure. You got any brothers or sisters?
I do. I've got two siblings. I got an older brother. He's 26. His name's Cade. And then a younger sister who's 10, and her name's Carly.
Hell yeah. Shout out Cade and Carly.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Were your parents, were they into music, or how'd you get into that?
Yeah. Nobody really ever asks about them, so that's good. Thank you. My mom sings terrible. She's a horrible singer, and she tries, but she's not good. And then my dad's a really good singer. My dad's actually the one that got me introduced to music. He was in a classic rock band when he was about my age. He actually cut his first album at 23.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's full circle for sure. And the band was called Riddler at the time, and they were real close to making it too. They were really good sound. And they just missed the cut as far as like the classic rock vibe and sound. And then right at the end of the 90s when they started putting stuff out was the Nirvana swing, that grunge rock, which is still great. But the music changed. So, back then it's a lot different than it is now. They had to send labels, records and stuff. And, if you weren't living in LA or any of those places, it was just kind of getting sent back. But I grew up on classic rock music because of my dad. And I wouldn't say he taught me how to sing, but he taught me to like harmonize and all that stuff just on radio. And, and I just kind of grew up listening to that. And, I think it just kind of developed naturally, as far as being able to learn to sing right and be on pitch and on key and, all that stuff. But my dad is a drummer.
Hell yeah.
And so, I never really got into the drums. I want to learn. But pretty much that's how I, grew up. I got my first guitar in 2015. Was just self-taught from YouTube. Still can't read music. I tried, hated it, trying to learn music theory. But again, like never thought at the time, that I would be doing what I'm doing now. So I take it a little more serious as far as learning that stuff, and it's a little easier to want to learn now too. And things make a little more sense. I've gotten a lot better playing guitar and things like that. So that helps with the drive to want to learn, and then obviously the things I'm doing, make that drive a little easier. But that's how I started. Music was never the forefront of things, but it was definitely a big thing in my life, just more so on the back burner.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Like you said, you grew up listening to classic rock. Like, who were some of the bands that, you distinctly remember?
The Eagles, for sure. Yeah. I love the Eagles. I think they're the best band ever. Amazing songs, have lasted the test of time. They still put out music that's new and hits top charts. But as far as like real classic rock stuff, I really like Styx. I really like Bad Company, Foreigner, Aerosmith. Shoot, there's a lot. REO Speedwagon. I'm a big fan of Bryan Adams' vocals. Lots. I just, so many. But I think, as far as my favorites, definitely the Eagles, like Journey for sure. Love those sounds, those voices, and stuff like that. And then I have to give a shout out to my grandparents. When I was growing up, really loved 50s music and loved like the black singers, and so I grew up with that soulful sound too. And so like Ray Charles, Nat King Cole, and like those I just think that that shaped my sound now, and like I still listen to that type of music, but I hear some of those voices, like if you at least for me, like when I listen to those sounds, they those vocal sounds shape the classic rock vocal sounds that I love, and then I want to try to take those and I think implement that in a country sound. I don't think there's enough of like Southern rock has kind of disappeared, but to be honest, I want to bring that back, and like I think that there's not enough soul in today's country music. There's not enough heart in today's country music, and I think it gets a bad rap of just too poppy of country. Of anymore it's they're gonna sit on the beach and drink some rum, and like yeah. That's not what country is, sure. At least to me, and I think to a lot of people cross genre. So yeah, I think those definitely were distinguishing influences for me growing up. So,
wow. So, how would you describe, the music you're making right now? Outside of you just kind of describe the music that you don't want to make. You don't want to make poppy country.
Right.
You want to make more soulful?
I do.
For sure.
Soulful and just like just bringing the stories back. Like there's definitely I can't say I'm a huge fan of like the Red Dirt country.
What is Red Dirt country? Just
it's like a Parker McCollum. Some of you guys might know who I'm talking about. Parker McCollum. I would say like a Cody Johnson, Tyler Childers, Zach Bryan's really big right now, and I think for me, like they're all great. Like I won't obviously speak bad on any of them because I don't know them, and they're huge, and people love their sound and their music, and I think really why people relate to it so much is because they have that story, and they have relatability, and I think as just human beings, we go through shit in life, heartache, love, like just pain, happiness. And I think if music is so cool because it brings out emotion, and, I don't feel anything when I'm listening to music that's like, we're going to sit on a beach and drink rum. You know what I mean? Like I don't get anything from that. But there's definitely sounds and music that brings that out, and I'm a huge lyrics guy. I'm a huge lyrics guy that likes a story, and I think that it needs to be back in the country industry today, and it's definitely going that way. I think that it's taking somewhat of a weird turn to where, like I said, that Red Dirt sound, and there's definitely some amazing Red Dirt, the ones that have figured out the right type of sound, and I think it's all, subjective. Obviously, everybody has their kind of niche of what they like, but for me, listening to it, I think there's also a weird side of it too, where it's like, they're talking about old school stuff that I don't know if they necessarily went through. And like, one of the guys that I mentioned, I won't even say his name because he is so big. I listened to a podcast that he said, and he's huge right now. He's, going on big tours, and, pretty much everything he's releasing is hitting. But he said on a podcast, he's like, yeah, most of what I write about, I've never really done. And so I kind of just,
Yeah.
how does that work? You sing about things, and
I feel like in any music genre, that's relatable to, what I mostly have on here is hip hop.
Right.
Hip hop musicians. So, that's applicable. Applicable. Fucking.
There we go.
I've had like one drink. Applicable anywhere, there's always going to be the opportunist.
Totally.
That's like, oh, I could sing about, in the hip hop, I could sing about selling drugs and getting girls. Or I could do that. I'm going to do that, make money. Or in the country world, like, oh, I could sing about riding a tractor and, doing whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think, a lot of people like aren't into that right now as far as the countryside goes, because I'm a big study guy too. Like, there's no doubt you kind of have to study the genre and like look through TikTok comments that, and you get a feel for what people are feeling in today's sound. And people are tired of that back road. We're taking a back road, going on the truck to drink a beer with your girlfriend, and like, and it's just, but it's cliche, it's like, it's just, there comes a point to that it's too much. Like, it's just too fake. And, there's definitely like, a fine line, because obviously you have to write love songs, and you're going to write those because those are feelings that people feel, but you want something that's real enough that people are going to like feel it, and they're going to put themselves in the song, and they're going to, like, for me, I envision myself within the song, and can I feel that? And, and I've been real lucky too that I've had people pitch me their songs. And so a lot of what's coming out on my EP, like, I only have one original song that's on my EP, and the other 5 are written by other people who have written songs for Blake Shelton and big time people. And I was kind of intimidated and overwhelmed when I found out who these writers were and how big they were. And the guy that I'm working with, which I'll talk about him here soon probably, he just kind of told me, because I asked him that. I was like, well, I don't really want to, I want to write my own stuff. I have original music that I want out there. And he just said, well, right now, you need the songs. You need good songs that are going to get you noticed. Then you can get there. Mm-hmm. And like, there's a total difference in Nashville versus Pueblo, Colorado, and like, we have plenty of talent here for sure. And we talked about that before coming on. But like, when I started going out to Nashville, I mean, you rise to the level, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to put you, or you're going to work hard enough to be professional, and like, your songs get better that you write. And that's where I needed to learn that, because I was definitely a little sad that, my songs weren't good enough to make the cut. But I agree, after hearing what's out there and like what people have written, you're like,
yeah,
holy crap, like, I feel myself in this pitched song, and I can sing it and feel it as if it were my own. But I eventually want to write songs that are like that. Mm-hmm. And you're going to just continue to grow and get better, you know, as you're surrounded by that greatness that's out there, you know.
For sure. But, that's also kind of got to be like a mental dilemma where you're like I got here on my songs, so why can't I get there on my songs,
Totally.
You're like,
Totally.
That person you're talking about, they're not, they could try to imagine what they would be like in your shoes, but they're not you.
Right.
Like, you have a different vision than everybody else. You made it this far.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. And that's totally true. Like, when I was kind of told that, it was definitely a gut check. You were just like, well, a lot of people like my stuff, And then one of the songs that kind of got noticed was what got me noticed by Nashville, was a song I wrote. It was kind of like one of the first real good ones that I wrote. And it was very heartfelt, really, it was definitely like a moment in my life that.
What's it called?
It's called Beautiful Lies. And it is going to be on my EP. And they rearranged it in Nashville to where it's more upbeat. Oh. And at first I was like, God, like it loses the
sentimental.
Yeah. And, it took me a while to get used to that. Mm-hmm. And when I started kind of letting close family and friends hear it, they were like, man, we really like your version of it better. But it wore on everybody, including myself, to where it was like, man, they did the right thing. They definitely heard the right thing, because the song, even though it was like a therapy recovery, like you got through something and it was for the better, which is what the song is. It's going through some shit and realizing that it was a blessing. But in reality, the upbeat music exemplifies that. It resolves the song to show and make it feel like, even though I went through this, like I came out so much better in the end. And, and so I do think, like they were the people who kind of said, your songs aren't really up to snuff. They encouraged me and gave me confidence enough to say, like, you have talent. You just need to practice more. Like, yeah. And there's an art to songwriting too. I mean, there's definitely like a right way to do it. And I think that's in any genre, not necessarily that it needs to be like by the book, but it's, good songs versus great songs versus like number one hits. Yeah. There's definitely, because you can make, like, you can still, like the songs that I've written in the past, like they can go from where they are now, which is kind of mediocre at best, and you can rearrange them and write them to where they could be a number one song. So it's still the same feeling, the same story, just in a different way.
Yeah. So, walk me through your songwriting process before you made it to Nashville, and then walk me through your songwriting process after you saw how the bigwigs did it.
For sure. So I think like anybody that writes songs, you kind of just have an idea in your head. You're going through something.
Do you mind if I smoke?
Go for it.
Right,
yep.
Cool.
You're kind of going through something, and you have an idea. Like for me, I've written songs in every way you can think. Like, you just kind of come up, like I've woken myself up from sleep to write a song. Like I just heard something in my head and I woke myself up, recorded it on my phone, woke up the next morning and wrote some stuff to it. I've written songs in an hour that were great songs, and I just kind of had a song title and was like, oh man, like that hits, and you just write something. I've taken 5 months to write a song. Beautiful Lies took me 5 or 6 months to find the right words to say, to make it not so personal and so direct, To
the person you were writing in your head to.
Exactly. And I wrote several versions of it before I found several verses before I found what I wanted to say. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I've, written a song about a bumper sticker saying that I saw, a lot of different ways. But then when you get to Nashville, I think, it's still the same, just different. And there in Nashville, it's a lot of collaboration, and there's a lot of songwriting sessions. So you set up meetings to write music. And the first song that I wrote in Nashville, I was really fortunate. The guy that I am working with, his name is Craig Campbell, and he kind of pushed me to Nashville, and he's a platinum selling artist, very legendary in Nashville. Moved to Nashville when he was my age, and he's about probably 43 now, I guess, and he has made amazing hits. His best song's called Outskirts of Heaven, and or it's the best selling, I should say, and that's kind of what got him to that stardom level. And he's kind of just like, dude, I want to help you in any way that I can. He's introduced me to some incredible artists, let me sing, with him, has helped me with the recording process. And the coolest moment I had was getting my first songwriting session with this guy by the name of Jeremy Bussey, and he's a Grammy-winning songwriter. And so I wrote my first Nashville song with a Grammy winner and a platinum-selling artist. So
First one.
yeah,
Wow.
yep.
Damn.
So it's pretty sweet.
So, so like when you sit down to write a song, before you were in Nashville,
Right.
kind of like, how would you set up? Like, could give us like a mental image? Were you like in your room, or how would you do that?
Yeah, my bedroom was definitely like the main space. I kind of have 3 spaces that I write, 3 or 4. So my first is definitely my bedroom. I don't know why that one. I think it's just because you're there, in the moment, you're by yourself. You could shut your door and you're just locked in.
Safe zone.
Yeah. Vulnerable. You can be open with your thoughts, and and then the second place for me is, it's weird, but it's the bathroom. Not that I'm like taking shit or anything, but I sit in there with my guitar. It's got good acoustics, and that's more of the slow song type of area, because like for me, I'll close my eyes and I'll kind of find a melody that just is like heartfelt, and you can kind of lock yourself into the music, and you just have that kind of the ambiance of the, like I said, the reverb of the room, and it's I don't know, it's just it fills you, it surrounds you, I guess. So I write more slow songs there. Now I have a studio in my basement, and so I kind of have like a home studio that's where I do a lot of it now. Really? And that one I've kind of written everything. I have a whole recording setup and everything, so I can get my ideas out quick. And and that's kind of what I've learned is the process in Nashville. And so you kind of just jot down every idea you have, record every version that you have via your phone or on your,
Every version, that's what they want you to do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise you'll forget, if you don't have it, and you will forget. Like I've forgotten songs where I'm like, damn it, should have recorded that, or I'm
in the moment.
Yeah. Like driving down the road and you have kind of an idea, like your phone's dead or something, and you try to remember it. And then you just can't. I don't know what it is, but I know songwriters, you pinch yourself sometimes and you're like, God damn it, But then the car is definitely my last one. I actually wrote a song about it. So I wrote a song in my head after a family member of ours passed away. And I don't know what the car for me is big, like, I think everybody just kind of can relate to, like, where you're just driving at night and you just are in your own thoughts, or you jam the radio and you're just, you can let go a little bit. I pray in the car all the time, and, you could just be with yourself. And I wrote this song, and as I was kind of envisioning this song, it's called Flyboy, I had like pictures that were like just because I was, had just got the news that he had passed and was driving home from Denver.
This was a cousin or something?
It was it was my cousin. And I was driving home from Denver, and my brother called me about 3:30 in the afternoon, and this was last December. And I just was like kind of in shock, not really sad at that point yet, and was just driving. And that whole drive, I just don't even remember driving. I just remember seeing like memories like as I was driving. And I remember like tunnel vision of the highway and just the streetlights passing and like with memories going through my head. And like,
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy. And like, definitely in my opinion, my favorite song that I've written. And through that, I wrote a song called This Drive I'm On. And it was about that scenario. And like, it was just kind of, like just gives me chills even thinking about. So it's pretty crazy. Like there's definitely a lot of ways, a lot of areas that I find myself like the best place to write. So, and I think, like songwriters that are out there cross genre, you definitely have that spot that you just feel your emotions. So,
Damn, that's intense, man. I'm really sorry to hear about your cousin, man. Last year was a tough time for everyone,
yeah,
man.
no doubt.
Everyone was passing away from COVID. That's what it seems like. But aside from, do you want to continue talking about that, or do you want to graze over
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. He was just kind of I'm a big person of faith. I think everything happens for a reason.
Sure,
it was hard on the family for sure.
He was your age?
No, he was a lot older.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot older.
20-year-old man.
Thank God, no. But as far as we know, it was COVID related. So that was tough. Like you couldn't really go see anybody, be there for your family. Like, we did have a service, but it was real limited, and it's just sucked.
Virtual service.
Yeah.
My grandma died
Yeah.
2 years ago when we had the virtual service too, man. Just so impersonable. Like
It's the worst.
yeah.
Yeah, the worst. And I was fortunate enough to be able to go because I wrote that song, and presented it to the family, and they asked me to do it. And so I was really lucky to be able to go to the immediate family service.
That's awesome.
But it just was like, yeah, like you said, the virtual, we had family, that wasn't able to go. And it's just like, God,
Yeah.
and me, I'm an Italian dude. And so, just big family, and we love hard, and it was tough. And like, that song I wrote so fast because I really believe that his name was Sammy Joe Pashada. And, I really 100% believe that he was with me writing it, and he spoke through me. Because like sometimes it's so personal and to him, and like the things that he would say and the things that he loved, that I was like, I didn't write that, like it was just so effortless to write. I wrote it in like an hour, and I remember just getting home and I had the title in my head after seeing all these memories, and like, just Flyboy. And
Why Flyboy?
so he used to fly model airplanes all the time, and he also drove race cars. So he was pretty just, grease monkey, and just loved doing mechanical things. Was a great craftsman. He was an award-winning, model airplane. And they have like a lot of that throughout the state of Colorado and all over. And there's a huge one in Florida that my younger cousin, his name's Zach, he's like a star when it comes to that. He's just one of the best in the nation. Yeah. And he actually won, or I don't know if he won, but he took second at his first time ever at this like national competition in Florida.
We'll say he won.
Yeah.
He won that.
He won. He did win it, but there was definitely some shenanigans that got pulled. And I think that if he goes back again, since they'll know him, but he scored higher than anybody. But yeah, and the Sammy Joe guy is no different. Like he was just a great craftsman. So loved, such a good, one of the best men I know. And it was a hard knock on our family. And like, so to be able to have something like that to remember him by, and just kind of, you know, live his life in a song, you know, is pretty amazing, and like I'm very proud of it. And
Powerful.
yeah, for sure.
Is there any music videos to accompany any of these songs? I feel like this one deserves a music video, man. I see a really powerful
This one
imagery with this.
I think we did like we didn't do a music video, but like they put the song to like a montage of his pictures and stuff, and that was pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty sweet to see, but I would agree, like it definitely needs a music video for sure.
Really
And
intimate setting, you know, maybe
Yeah.
you in the outdoors. Maybe
absolutely.
body of water in there, like that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
that would be cool. It's a good idea.
Yeah, you know, have those. But damn man, that's really powerful. You know, I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this. Like, I personally myself, I don't write any music or make any music, but you know, I am a creator in some sense of the word. But you know, like loss or gain really plays a lot in anyone's creative process. You know, like the ending of a relationship. You know, whether it's like you didn't have the chance to say goodbye, like you did to your cousin. You
Right.
didn't have to your cousin, or you had the chance to say goodbye, like maybe like ending of a like boyfriend girlfriend relationship or whatever. Like that could really send you down like some really like
Yeah.
beautiful turns that where you never even thought your creative process would take you, or like ruin your
Yeah.
entire
Yeah,
thing.
closure's a big thing, you know, in a lot of areas of life. Like, I think if you don't get a chance to process something, you know, you struggle. And like, you know, yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, you know, I think I've been hardened by a few things just in this past 2 years, and then prior to me singing and doing music whatsoever, which was a saving grace for me. You know, there was a time I was, you know, prior to starting to sing and being out front with it, that I was in a low spot in my life, and like didn't receive closure for a couple big things. And like if it wasn't for music and being able to like express myself and like playing shows, I mean, I know COVID was horrible for everybody, but it was also a huge momentous life change for me. And it changed the course of my life. And being around so many people, like, and being able to bring them some joy, you know, just through singing. Like, they didn't know that I was going through what I was going through, but I didn't really want them to know, because I was trying to heal, and I knew that I was okay with, I accepted, you know, the losses and the hard things that I was going through, and just turned to God, and, you know, turned to bettering myself and doing the right things, and trying to just live right. And like, I accepted it and was okay with it, but I just knew that I was still going to go through it, the pain. But I was like, music is helping me. Like, I was writing those songs, you know, I was singing in front of people all the time. Like, I was booking shows, just at little bars and restaurants 3 days out of the weekends, and was playing just back to back shows, and loved it. Like, I didn't think anything of it. And it was like, when I look back on it, it was definitely like a blur. It happened so quick. But I'm glad that it happened that way, because I mean, we all know that clock on the wall is all you got to be able to heal from things. And like, it helped time move quicker, you know, because I was so focused on that and like looking forward to that. That was the only thing that was bringing me happiness at the time, was playing these shows, being around happy people, you know.
And you've only been playing music, like you said, for 2
years.
2 years.
Yep,
So
2 years.
And you said you experienced that loss of your cousin Sammy. Or not
Yeah.
cousin, Sammy, within a year
Right.
of making
Last
music.
December. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you were only making music for at least like 12 months before
Right.
before you experienced that.
Yep.
And then you got into playing those shows in rapid like session.
Yep.
Wow.
So it was pretty just quick, you know, and
Yeah.
like, you know, prior to that, like, I was playing college football, got hurt, was done. And that was tough. Like, that was kind of my main focus on my life.
College football for CCP?
Yep. And
were you there when they won that title?
no, I wasn't. We just missed it. I think they won it in 14, and I got in at 18.
I mean, it got revoked, right?
No, that one didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one didn't. But they did lose, I think, a RMAC title.
Okay.
So that was just a divisional title. But the national championship was all legit, and they have that one.
For sure.
Yeah. So that was cool. But it was awesome to be there, and like, that consumed my life. Like, even in high school, I was like, that is my goal. I want to get a college scholarship. I want to continue playing. And so that was what I was wrapped up in. And so then when that ended, that was tough. That was just, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, I just kind of,
Yeah.
When you're just college sports, anything is a job. Like, you're up at 5 a.m. Mm-hmm. You don't get done till 5 p.m. and then you have school. And so like that consumes your life. And then when that's gone, you don't realize how much free time you have. And that was tough to find something to do. So then I just started playing guitar and like trying to get better at it. Really didn't think I was going to do anything with it, but I just was bored. And then I was in a 3.5-year relationship, and then that kind of ended just out of the blue. And didn't, like I said, neither of those I really got closure for. So I had to kind of figure out a way to find something to, heal, I guess.
She fucked up. No, I'm just kidding.
And, yeah. And so, through those, I just grew as a person, and really, and I'm so thankful for that, for everything that happened, because like I said, it altered the course of my life tenfold.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you don't look at it at the time, obviously, like that, but like I said, I accepted, what had happened, was okay with it, and just needed to heal from it. Mm-hmm. So, music, I mean, I'm a huge advocate of music now, and because of what it did for me, and I know that it can do that for somebody else. And
totally.
So just expressing yourself,
So you think, in your timeline, without the loss of college sports because of your injury, what was that injury, by the way?
Ankle injury.
Yeah. How old were you when you got that?
I was 20. I think I just turned 21, maybe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was a couple years ago.
So you spent your first year like on crutches or something.
Yeah.
Damn, shitty. Were you still going to bars?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I was I had just got out of a boot. So like I was prior to So it happened like right in the spring of before I started music. So it's probably February. So we were going through spring ball, and it was like, it was spring practices, and then I got hurt. Essentially I just separated my ankle joint from my leg, like the actual foot from my ankle. Yeah.
Did that look crazy in real life? Like, was it like
dude, yeah, it was just
dangling?
like that.
Oh,
yeah, it was
gnarly.
just like
that. Is there
that.
a video?
Maybe.
Somewhere. But
I'll have to look. I might have got removed from the huddle stuff by now, probably, but I would assume there was probably a video, but I just never looked.
There's a highlight reel of crazy injuries.
Probably I'll find it somewhere. But yeah, dude, it was just like that. Like I remember standing up because I didn't know that it happened, and I just remember it hurt like a mother, and I stood up, dude, and I just remember like imagine like your foot in a bowl, and it just. I felt it grinding on my like bones, and I was just like, "This is." I'm
squeamish as fuck, bro. I don't even like that shit.
And I knew it was jacked up. Like I knew it was. Didn't know how bad it was. But I tried. I was fighting for a job, so I didn't even really do anything about it. And then I remember
fighting for a job in what sense of the word?
As in like trying to get a position on the field. And so I was like really like just tough it out. It's just an ankle sprain. Like, I just tried to like play through it. I think I played like one play after it and just was like, I can't. So I sat myself out, went to the trainer, iced my foot. Then we were done for the weekend. And so like 3 or 4 days had passed before we had to come back. And I mean, my ankle, my foot to like my middle calf was just black and blue. Like,
Fuck.
And I was like, something is not right here. And it just hurt so bad. So we tried to rehab it just through the trainers, and CSU Pueblo has a fantastic training staff and like medical staff. Excuse me. And they really took care of me, and we tried to therapy it, ice it, all these things, and it just was not getting better. So I ended up having to go to the Olympic Training Center up in Springs, got an MRI done, and that's when they told me like what had happened. I'd separated my foot from the joint, like in the joint, stretched out the ligaments
Still
like
to that
crazy.
point, it was still separated?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so like
Days later.
Yeah. And so like we went back we went up there quite a few times trying to figure out what was wrong. And like I just remember the orthopedic surgeon was like, dude, he's like, you'd have been better off tearing it so you could have surgery. He's like, at this point we can't really do anything about it. He's like, you're just gonna have to let it heal naturally to the best that it can be. And he said that was like 14 months recovery. And so he said, you're going to have to spend like 6 months in a boot, like all this stuff. And then, so I was on crutches for a little bit after that. And then like for me, I was like, I'm coming back early. Like I'm not going to give this up. And then, so I stayed in a boot for about 3 or 4 months, and then summer happened and we were going through some footwork drills, and I felt comfortable. Like I was starting to do stuff. And then I remember I put an ankle brace on, and then they spatted my cleat, which just means they taped like, so I had my ankle brace, a cleat, and then they taped my ankle. So it was like a brick, dude.
Holy fuck.
And so like it was stiff.
Dangerous as fuck.
Yeah. And it was stiff, so I wouldn't hurt it. And then we were doing a footwork drill, and I was a DB. And
what is that? I'm sorry. I'm retarded.
Defensive back.
All right.
Yeah. So like, yeah. And
some people don't know.
yeah. So I was doing some footwork stuff, and like literally I just remember planting my foot, and it just again. And that was with everything. Yeah.
Damn.
That was with all the support on it too. And I just went down, and I was like, oh my God, freaking out. And so then I was back in a fucking boot, and just couldn't get it back to normal. And I just remember it hurting. And then there was one night shortly before I finally had to make the decision to be done. I was sleeping in bed, and it was so painful that I had to like take pain pills. So I took some pain pills to go to sleep.
What'd you take?
I don't even know. I think it was just Oxy, but it was low dose. And I remember I twitched in my sleep, and I kicked the wall with my foot. And dude, that sent me like,
you're done.
Yeah. Like it hurt so bad. Like I still remember how painful it was. And so then it was shortly after, like maybe the next day or the day after, I was like, yeah, I'm done. So that was tough, but again, necessary for what I was doing.
Yeah. So the question I was getting to was, in your timeline, do you think that without that injury and without that,
breakup,
mm-hmm. relationship happening, you don't think you would have started making music?
Definitely not. Wow. Definitely not. Like I was in construction management, was gonna start working for my dad's company. Like,
do you want to plug it? What is it?
Colorado Cabinet Works.
Oh hell yeah! Make cabinets.
Yep, cabinets, countertops, flooring, all that stuff, commercial and residential. So,
hell yeah! I'll have to get them in here, bro. I need some shit. Hell yeah!
No doubt. And we do good work. So, but it was fun, and like I eventually wanted to build custom homes. Like that was my goal, and I still want to. So I was on a whole, and I was thinking I was getting married to this person, and fully bought into what we had going on, and so like my life path was essentially set.
Yeah.
At least at the time for me it was, and and I was content with it too. Like I was happy. I didn't really have any issue with it. And so like as far as football ending, like, you know, I think if that would have continued, no, I disagree. Like, because I didn't start, if I would have still been playing, I wouldn't have been able to play shows. So, and that was right after I was done. So like, that was that going into that summer. So I started playing right after I was hurt. And then without the relationship, like, you know, that wouldn't have happened either, because, you know, when you look back, like everything's hindsight 2020. You know, I definitely, she knew I could sing. Her family knew I could sing. I would sing at the church every once in a while. Like, people knew I could sing at that point. I think, you know, I just wasn't necessarily supported in it. You know, her folks really liked my singing. Like, they were supportive of it. My family was supportive of it, you know, and like I was a lot more, you know, I had more stage fright back then. Didn't really put it out front. Had to close my eyes every time I sang anywhere.
Oh, really?
But, you know, as far as in terms of her, like there were a couple things that I remember, like, and I don't know if this is too much detail, but it's all right.
No, yeah, I think people are going to relate to this.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. Like, I'm completely over it, you know, as far as that goes.
Part of the story.
Yeah. You know, I wasn't necessarily, I guess the right way is just, it wasn't encouraged. And I remember, because I was still with her, right when I remember, like, starting to play guitar and doing all that stuff. And I remember telling her, like, I think I want to start, like, playing shows. And I remember I was riding in the car with her, and she was driving, and I was telling her, like, I think I want to do this, whatever. And I just remember she kind of stopped me dead in my tracks when I was talking, and she's like, I just really don't care. And that was, you know, like a month or so later, she dumped me. So it was kind of like the signs were there. I just didn't see it, you know?
Damn.
Yeah. And like, there were a couple times, like some of the songs that I had been writing at the time, she just was like, you know, they all sound the same. And I wrote one song specifically for her, and, you know, she was really excited about it at the time, like posted it to like Facebook. And this was before like I was even done with football. And it was like probably I don't even know. It might've been that year, that same timeline, like leading into it. But I wrote this song, and I remember her being really excited about it. So I was super excited about it because she really liked it. It was this love song. And then like shortly after, like not even a couple weeks later, she goes, it doesn't sound enough like Beautiful Crazy. And like, for the people that know Beautiful Crazy, Luke Combs.
Oh, yeah.
This song was Song of the Year that year, like is people's wedding song, like, you know, and I was just like, what the frick? Like, it shot me down, dude.
Do you
like,
not curse?
No, I do.
Okay. What
I
the
do.
frick? All right.
Yeah, I do, but I was just like, sorry, I'm so like cautious of it if I'm on air or whatever.
True.
But no, dude, like I was so shot down by it. And so I ended up writing another song for her, but I never showed it to her because I felt that I felt like she wouldn't like it. And I remember showing a couple people. I showed one of her friends. She was like, oh my God, she's going to love it. But I just had a gut feeling that she was not going to like it. Like, it kind of was just, you know, calling out some of her inner feelings, you know, like some of the things that she didn't necessarily like about herself, or that what she assumed were her flaws. But it, to me, like, she was still beautiful. And like, the song was called Through My Eyes. And, like, it was just that. I wish you could see.
Yeah. How could you not fuck with that?
Yeah. And I was like, I wish you could see what I see when I look at you. Like, I know you, like, and all girls are that way. Like, they all dog on themselves, and their man is always like, no, what are you talking? Like, we don't
that's
see
romantic
shit.
As fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
romantic as fuck, for sure. Keep going, though.
Yeah. So, like, for the dude's perspective, it's just like, I don't see that shit. You know, like, I don't see what flaws you're even talking about. And so, but I just couldn't find the ability to show her. I just didn't think she would like it. I thought she would probably read into it too much and would think I was just calling out all of her flaws, and like it would exemplify, you know, the problem. And I'm glad I didn't show her. I don't think she deserved that, when I look back on it now, and like, and like I said too, I just, in the singing music area, I just was not supported by her. So like my confidence towards singing was not great, especially at that time. So when I played my first show, it was at Jidone's out in the county.
Yes, shout out them.
Yeah, and
I don't know actually about that. Shout out. I might take it back. We'll see.
so I kind of was like, really nervous when I booked that show, which I posted a video on Facebook like a day or two after we broke up. And Tommy G reached out to me, just DM'd me and was like, hey, man, COVID stuff's kind of lifting. I'd really like it if you'd come and play out here. He's like, have you done it before? And I told him, yeah, because I had been praying for something, to just get me out of the house and to start doing something. And so I told him, yeah, I had.
And you lied.
Yes.
Nice.
And he goes,
You bad man. No,
yeah. And he goes, well, cool. Can you play 3 hours? And I was like, yep.
Holy fuck.
So this was on a fucking Wednesday.
3 hours?
Yeah. He booked me on a Wednesday and I played on a Friday. And I remember I booked it and I just kind of was like, what did I just do?
How many songs is that? That's covers too.
Yeah, totally covers. I ended up printing out a binder full of like 60 songs.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
How much did he pay you if you don't mind me asking?
$100 for
3 hours. Yeah. Holy fuck.
Yeah. And then I realized.
That's like $30 an hour.
Right. And then I realized later on, after I got less green, that I was getting screwed.
Fuck yeah.
Know? And like I got yeah. Tommy G, you're cool.
Yeah.
And I just, but at the same time, like as I started growing and stuff, that was not going to happen for me anymore. And I was bringing so many people to his facility.
For sure.
Like, I just, with how much time I was putting in to be good at what I was doing, my sound system was not cheap. Like, and I wanted to be.
Oh, you had to provide your own sound system.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so there was a lot of work that was going to be done behind the scenes between practicing and like, and then I started really getting a following fast. And like anywhere I was playing was like getting sold out or, capacitated for COVID. And there was like a wait list for places. And I was like, holy shit. Like
your price just went up.
Yeah. And so, there were people that were like, no, you're not. They looked at you like a Pueblo bar act, which is a bunch of bullshit in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, I know a lot of good dudes, Jeremy Kitchens, Matt Fusen, Christian Hawkes,
yes.
like
all those guys.
You guys,
all them.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah,
you guys fucking rock. And like, without them, like, I wouldn't have had the balls to even come at them and play. And like, I think that I stepped into a field where they kind of had established territory and, I was kind of nervous about it because I was like, well, this is their spots. And like, I didn't really know if that was like a beef thing or not. None of them were. Like, I've played with all of them and they're all great dudes and they all gave me really good advice when I first started out. And like I said, you guys rock. And there's more that I'm not even mentioning, like just because I don't know them or I haven't played with them. But there's so many Pueblo artists that, know your worth is the only thing I can say to you guys. Like, if you guys hear this,
facts.
Like, know your freaking worth. Don't play for $50 for 2 reasons. Because you work your ass off. And I know because I've been there. And at the same time, you kind of screw everybody else if you book shows for $50 for 4 hours, like, because then all these places think, well, then I'll book somebody else. If you're gonna play for $100 an hour, then I'll book somebody else because they don't care, and that's fine. Like, everybody's in it, at some point to make money, and that's awesome. I think that they should be. Like, I don't knock venues or places for doing that because they have a business to run, and like, thank you to everybody that's let me play at your facilities. Like, because you've helped me grow and you've helped me get to that next spot, the bigger spots to where now I'm playing concert venues. Like, you know, and if it wasn't for those places, you know, I wouldn't have that. But there's definitely some venues, right, that don't pay the artist what they're worth. And then there's definitely some that I'm loyal as fuck to. Like, if I'm the next Luke Combs, I will still come back and play for free at these little bars here in Pueblo, Colorado. Because
Give me one of them.
Graham's Grill.
Yes, I love the Graham's Grill.
Over by CSU Pueblo.
Yes.
Pam Graham, you're a freaking rock star. I love you. She was paying me way too much money, and she is so awesome, but she didn't know what that meant for me. It helped me buy new equipment to be better, more quality stuff. Like, she helped expose me to new areas, you know, and she booked me a few times. And then it just got to a point where I was like, you know, Pam, I am getting some opportunities, you know, to play concert halls and venues, and I think that I need to go expand there. And like, I talked to her about it, and she's been so supportive of my goals and my dreams. And like, I still talk to her to this day. If we run into her, like, I always update her on stuff that I have going on. And she's awesome. Like, she's so awesome. I have nothing but good things to say about her. Trying to think of where else.
If you go to Graham's Grill, get the pineapple cider. That shit is so good.
Fire. And wings, dude. They have good wings.
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, and I know she books some places, or she books some of those guys too. Like, Jeremy Kitchens plays there. But yeah, like, and go see those dudes too, because like, they rock. Like, they're so entertaining. Way better at music and guitar than I am, and like, so talented in their own rights, and they have their own sounds, like everything. They all have original music, and they're just awesome. And I played a pretty big show last year with Jeremy Kitchens in February, and we practiced together and stuff. And like, he's so, you know, they've all been doing it a lot longer than I have, so I'm just trying to pick their brains and, you know, how can I get better? And they're so gracious enough to open up to things, talk to me about like what, and that's just what's awesome about Pueblo. Like, you know, you can definitely go to Nashville, and there's some people who are like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm not going to help you get to where I want to be. You know, Nashville's pretty cutthroat as far as like some aspects of it. I'm super fortunate to have had the door essentially open for me by some of these big pros in the industry that are big names in country music. But like, you know, that if you were there, I was told it's kind of a two-way street. Like, there's Broadway people that move there not knowing anybody, and they have to grind to make it. And usually in today's world, it doesn't happen. Like, you have to know people, or you have to have 1.5 million on TikTok. Like, you know, that's just stuff I've learned. And like, you know, but as far as Pueblo and stuff, like, it's best. It gets such a bad rap. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, every place has crime, every place has bad people, but like, Pueblo is the shit. I love Pueblo. The community supports everybody. Like, seriously, if it wasn't for just the city of Pueblo and Pueblo West and Pueblo County, like, sharing my stuff on socials and giving me support, and like, coming to these shows where, you know, like, out in Pueblo West at the Gutter House, it's closed down now, unfortunately. But
I don't know about unfortunately. I don't know what they did.
I don't either.
Some people say they did some crazy ass shit. I don't
I
want
have
to
no
say
idea.
unfortunately.
I know. Like, I know there was some just like owner dispute, as far as I know. That's probably as far as I can get into it. But that's just business, you know, and everybody kind of has their own thing. Like, I've heard some rumors. Don't believe all the rumors, because they're not true. A lot of them are not true. A lot of it just has to do with legal ownership stuff. And so, you know, that's all being dealt with, and I hope it opens. I do. It's a good place. It helped me a lot. It's got good people there. And so, you know, I mean, everybody kind of has their opinions on things, and that's fine. But like, I won't speak bad on it, because they helped me, you know. And but like, Gutter House, you know, was bringing in huge names, and at a time of COVID, you know, these starving pros were like, I'll play anywhere. You know, like Pueblo came and showed out for me so many times that it impressed their people. Like, holy shit, this kid's got a following. To where they were like, let me get your number. Let me introduce you to this person. And
Because you were an opener.
yeah.
Wow. What was like, you know, like what was one of the bigger crowds you've opened for, maybe at a Pueblo venue?
Yeah. So, I guess two, like Gutter House obviously was one of them.
How many people?
Usually capacity was 1,500. They'd usually get that for big artists. Matt Stell was awesome. Matt Stell's a big country artist. He's really rising right now too. But great dude, you know, great, awesome guy. Like just has great music. Give him a follow. Give him, you know, his support because he's awesome and he helped me out. Asked me to come and play with him up in Fort Collins that next day. So I got to, you know, go up there and he let me chill on the tour bus and stuff. And like, that was new experiences for me. Like,
Totally.
and it was so,
What was that like?
life-changing.
Yeah. What was what was a tour bus like when you never had been on a tour bus before? I'm sure that's been like, you know, for a new artist, that has to be that kind of like, you know, like you said, life-changing,
Yeah.
eye-opening.
Goal
like,
setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I could do this.
Yeah. I'd say more than anything, what I've learned is like the guys who have made it at that level are business pros. Like, I think that's what a lot of people that I've been fortunate to see is that it's not all, because there's some people who I would say have not made it. And like, I can't, but it's just my own opinion on it. Like, I don't know any of them that like, as far as haven't made it, but like, you can get caught up in the lifestyle. And that's like the drugs, the alcohol, the partying, like the girls, guys, if you're a girl, like,
Sorry.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you can get caught up into all that, you know, and like, it's easy to do. Like you can get caught up into this type of like, because it's like you walk around town. Like I still remember the first time I actually had something like that happen. It's been a long time now, but I was just walking in Walmart and got stopped by a lady. Oh my gosh, can I take a picture with you? Wow. And that was crazy. Like, you know, and I was blown away with it. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like
That's
freaking
awesome.
out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And like, you know, I've gotten more used to that and it happens a lot more often now. And like, and it's awesome. Like you don't realize how many people love what you're doing and support you. Like, and it's just, it keeps you wanting to go for it. Like, but you know, I think there's definitely the guys that have made it, like, not that it's a show, but like when the bus comes, it's lax, like it's fun, and everything is fun, but like it isn't what people think as far as like these dudes are just alcoholics and drinking all the time. Like Michael Ray, I got to play with him, and he gave me good advice one time, and he was just like, as far as drinking, you know, he just said, you're on the clock, you know, you're working right now. Like, have fun, drink a little bit, but if you get plastered, like, and I had to learn that early on before I was opening for people, like saying no to people that were buying me shots because I was getting jacked up, man. And like, you never know who you're going to run into. And then one night, it was actually the night that I got the opportunity to play with the guy who took me under his wing.
What's his name?
Craig Campbell.
Craig Campbell.
Yep. That same night, like, was when I experienced that. And I was like, thank God I didn't, because I wanted to so bad. Like, I was just wanting to hang out with my friends. It was a great show. Like, I wanted to drink a little bit, and I did, but I didn't get plastered. And I was saying no. I've already had a couple shots. Like, thank you, though. Oh, that's okay. Like, I mean, people are understanding of it. But, like, I could have easily gotten jacked up that night, just totally plastered. And if I would have, I wouldn't have, I guarantee you I wouldn't have been able to talk to him about what he wanted, like, because that's what happened. It was, man, you know, I was really impressed. Like, I think that I want to push you to my people. Like, I took some video. I can't guarantee anything, And I just had to be a pro. Like, that was the moment where I was like, if you're going to be a pro, you got to be a pro. And that's in so many ways. Like I said, it's fun. You can drink in moderation. You know, if drugs are your thing, smoke some weed, whatever. But you got to be careful when you cross that line too, because you need to be in a safe spot. Like, the publicity side of it too could kick your ass. Like, if somebody catches you in the wrong time, just puking or whatever, it'll ruin your reputation. Or you say some dumb shit, which has happened in the country music world. You say some dumb shit when you're out with your friends and somebody happens to pull their phone out.
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's recovered from that situation, but he lost everything in hours of that coming out. Mm-hmm. Like, record deal, radio play. They weren't even going to keep his songs on Apple Music, and he had just released his double album. Like, you got to be careful with your shit. And, like, I've experienced that kind of in my own right too. You know, as far as just, there's definitely positive and negatives to it. You know, like
this, you know, coming onto something like this, you know, if the person in my shoes didn't have their best intentions in mind and they were just trying to get a soundbite off of you, like, I would, you know, who are you? You don't know. Like, they could lead you into a corner and be like, we were talking about something crazy. You know, I'm gonna ask you a really sideways question. You like,
yeah,
you know. So yeah, it's as a person with something to lose, people are always gonna try to take a little bit of, you know, quote unquote clout off of you.
For sure. I would say it's 80-20. Maybe not even that much. It's 80-20. Mm-hmm. Like, 80% of people support you, and that, I would say, that's probably no matter how big you get. 20% have the wrong intentions, want to use you, and that's normal. That's just life, you know. And the more you do it, like I have, you get more keen on it. I've also come to realize, like, my experiences in my past have helped me grow as far as seeing red flags sooner, you know, and that's it with anybody. And there's sharks out there, like, for sure. And especially in the music industry, like I said, to venues, or like I said earlier with venues, everybody's trying to make money, and that's what it's about, you know. And, like, you just got to be careful with who you put your faith in, or put some faith into, and, like, who you trust. And I know my circle's very small now, for sure, because you experience it, and that's fine. Like, I would say, like I said, it's 80-20. Like, people are so genuinely excited for you, and, like, the things that I have going on doesn't happen every day. Like, that's like 1% chance of what like we talked about earlier. I mean, before I think we came on, you know, there's so many people that have tried to make it that just can't, and they just don't. They don't run into the right people. There's a lot of luck involved. There's a lot of blessings involved. And, like, it just doesn't happen for everybody. So, like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. You know, yeah, it is what it is, but, like, I guess when you're working with other people and you're in the spotlight, I don't know, you had to grow up quickly. You know, you're only 23. You told me before the podcast, people say you're an old soul. Yeah, I feel that now, you know, like, you're dropping gems here that artists watching this, they can only aspire to, like, one day learn for themselves.
For sure. Yeah. And I really do, like, you know, and it is like cross genre. I'm talking to everybody watching, like, this was all just learning from process, and it's learning from pros that have been screwed over. Like Craig, his number one song when he was with this other label, and I can't name drop them for legal reasons, but yeah, I got in trouble because I did that on one time, and he actually texted me, was like, "Hey, bro, like, we can't do that." And and he probably will watch this podcast, which is cool. So he really supports me. So Craig, if you're watching this, I love you.
Shout out Craig.
Yeah. And but yeah, and he got screwed over by his label with his number one song, platinum record. Like,
can you say the song's title?
Outskirts of Heaven.
Outskirts of Heaven.
Yeah, and it's his song. Like, he wrote it.
So don't stream it.
No, stream it, because he still makes money from it now. But at the current time, like 4 or 5 years ago, dude got gypped out of the millions, dude. Like, millions. And there's a guy on TikTok, Warren Ziders, that covered it. And like some of you probably know Warren Ziders, but just a big TikTok famous guy and really good. And he covered one of that song of Craig's and it went viral again. So they, recorded it together and stuff, and Craig featured on it. And, and that's awesome. Like he's making money from that. So it's really sweet. Excuse me again. But yeah, so it's cool. And like, but, it is, it's like you said, you got to be careful with things. And the people that, if you're definitely trying to go in, thinking you're going to make it, believe that, because like, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to. And like I said, music for me, do it because you love it. Don't go into it because you want to make it, because otherwise you're probably going to be disappointed, I think, and you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, for sure. You familiar with Russ?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was watching this Russ interview, bro, and I really related this into my life. Like I said, I'm not a musician or anything, but hey,
Big Bear, what's up?
That's what's up. But I feel like Russ is always dropping some independent musician gems, bro.
Yeah.
You don't drink Coke, you?
No, it's okay.
Fucking. Do you want more water?
Good.
All right. This is the first guy I've ever seen drink whiskey and water. I want to let that be known. That's awesome.
I'll have to tell you a funny story about it. But Russ, don't.
All right.
Because I like Russ.
Yeah. So he was dropping some knowledge, and he was talking about how he learned you don't make music to make money. You should
Yeah.
A wise artist at least doesn't make music to make money. They make money to make music. Yeah, that's how in the long run you're gonna be happy with yourself.
Totally.
And you're gonna be happy with your end product. Because if you're in it for a monetary goal, you're not gonna get there right off the bat. You're a 1 in a million. 2 years. Like, yeah, some people have been working fucking 20 years.
Yeah.
And they haven't seen anything.
For sure. And the thing too, like, you don't make as much money as you think in music. Like, even if you're hitting, like, you're not, there's so much percentage off the top. Like, and you have, like, being an independent artist, like, it's even tougher. Like, the industry in every genre is so controlled by the industry people, the big executives, and then you have to, through that comes a lot of legal stuff. And when you get legal stuff involved, you have to have representatives, which are like publicists, agents, lawyers. And when that stuff gets involved, and if you have investors, like, again, trusted circles. Mm-hmm. If you guys are making it, and you be careful, like, don't put your faith in just anybody. And there's so many snakes out there. You're going to get wide-eyed by people. Oh my God, like some random label in Los Angeles or Nashville will be like, hey man, like, you're freaking awesome. Like, we think that you should come out and make some records. And then they screw your ass by saying, we want 30% off of everything you do. And I had that happen. Like, I didn't get screwed because I wasn't an idiot, but I also was like, my thought process on it was, man, if I'm getting reached out to right now at this early stage of when I'm doing this, like, I think I can get something bigger and better, more worth it. And like, and I'm glad that I believed that, because there was one where I was gonna do it, and then they started telling me like, yeah, we want 32%, which is typically industry standard. But that's through all of your agents, lawyers, like investors, stuff. It equates to about that. So like, this company was like, yeah, we want 32%. And it's like, okay, if you hit and your song is just popping, they own your royalties, they own you essentially, and then you're giving them all your money. And like, at the time when I was doing it, like, I do all my own stuff, like all my own socials, all my own like advertisements and promos. I make all those myself. Like, and this company was still gonna make me do it myself, but through their contract, it was taking what I was doing and just paying them to do it. Like,
damn,
or paying them for what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, for what? You know, it's just stupid. And like, if you can stay independent with, and that's kind of what happened for Craig. Like, what's awesome now is like he's got so popular, and he's having like a resurgence because he is an older artist. But like between him and like a Cody Johnson, which these are all country guys, like Cody Johnson specifically was such a huge artist, and he's been doing it for 20 some years, but he became such a huge artist and was independent and never signed, never folded to the industry. And now he got so big that he finally had to sign a record deal, but holds all his own power. Because he created everything on his own, owns all of his songs, writes all of his own music, has his own teams to do stuff for him, and has somehow made enough money because he's been independent. So he keeps all of the money that he generates, that he's able to pay people, and they're loyal as fuck to him. And so like he was able to basically sign to a huge label, which I think he signed to Warner Chappell, but I could be wrong. But you know, they really had no power over him, like, and they still don't. And he's still gonna just create his own shit and do all of his own stuff, but now with the backing of a label, which you can't really get on the radio without label help. So that's the only shitty thing. So like if you're, like you said, if you're going in it to make money, you're gonna be disappointed because you don't make as much as you think, especially when you get to that next level. Like it's still equivalent to probably like if you were making, you know, $1,500 for a show at a small level, like, and that's just by yourself, and you make that much money. Like, think of it as if you get signed and you have all these people, whatever, and then you're making 10 grand for the show. 30%, you know, I don't know that math, but you're still going to make $1,500. But now you're paying a shit ton of people to help you spread your music and book your shows. Like, that's kind of the point where I'm at now. It's like within the next few months and leading into this year, I'm going to have my own booking agent. Like, they're going to do all that for me, but I'm paying the price, you know. But you do need it to grow. And so eventually, like if you're Luke Combs or these Cody Johnson types, yeah, you're still going to make a shit ton of money, but it's still 30% off. Like, what's 30% of 1.5 million? You know, that's a lot of money that's gone. So
as far as being independent, are you independent right now?
yeah. So I'm independent. My pub deal is with Combustion Music Group, and I got that from Craig. He just pushed me to those people, and they took their chance on me. So like I'm independent, though I don't have a record deal, and that's kind of like a pub deal anywhere is kind of the start. Like you're paid to write songs, so like you work essentially for the label, so you're getting paid by the label, but you're writing songs, and you kind of make it that way. Like I'm going to try to start singing demos for people, and you make a lot of money doing that too, because you also got to do things to survive, and I wouldn't even say survive, but you know,
On the side. Just
yeah.
Like play shows.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like you got to do it all. Like there's so many ways to do it. And like, so the pub deals anywhere is kind of the intro, like, you know, and then eventually, like if your songs that you're writing get picked up by huge artists, and then you become like a really key, instrument for these artists to be successful, and your songs are like, yeah, for sure.
Right here.
Sorry.
It's cool.
But like, yeah, I mean, your pub deals and whatever, like your songs are just hitting, and you're starting to become known as a huge songwriter. Like, then they kind of give you a chance. Like, they're like, okay, well, we'll sign you to a record deal. You know, we'll pay quote unquote for your music. And essentially, when you get signed to a record deal, you get the support of the label, and that's what you need. So like the support is just getting backing to push your music, and you know, the powers that be that control the music industry, you know, they you got your stamp of approval, I guess is the right way to say it. So they're going to distribute your music and you're going to get known. And then if you don't have that, then it's a lot harder, but it's still possible. And that's what's nice about my situation is that Craig's using all of what he's done in the last 20 some years to help me achieve that at my age. So it's pretty big deal. It's pretty amazing and very fortunate. So
hell yeah, man, that's awesome. So Combustion Records is the only thing that you got.
Yeah, just pub deal.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah. But you were talking to me about you have a publicist now, and like it's one person.
Yeah, it's for agencies though. So like you get represented by a single person, but you're essentially like, it just depends. Like they usually cover, probably a few artists, but you just kind of need all that stuff. Like, the booking agents and it just, when you're represented by people, as stupid as it is, like you're looked at as more professional. So like, and that's again, stuff that I've learned. Like I want to quote this, like, cause you'll hear me probably say it a lot, but it's one of my mottos as far as what I tell people all the time is like, if you're going to be a pro, be a pro. And that's in everything. Pro equipment, get good shit. Like if you obviously get what you can, but it's worth saving your money to buy good stuff because your sound is what people are going to hear. So if you sound like shit, people are going to know that and they're going to think you always will sound like shit. Yeah. So good equipment matters. And then socials, super important. Don't post pictures that suck. Blurry photos, like get some good equipment that looks professional when you take pictures. Like that stuff matters. It just does. And like when you create promos, I do everything on my phone. They have apps. I pay like $60 a year for a couple of these apps. I'd have to look them. I can't remember their names, but like I just edit photos. You could Photoshop stuff, like create video promo, like, and I've gotten so much better at it. And it's everything just practice, and then as far as like publicist and all that stuff, like I said, just if you're going to be a pro, you're going to be a pro. And as stupid as it is, if you have somebody representing you that you can be like, hey, if somebody DMs you on Instagram, hey, we'd love you to play this show. You'd be surprised at the response you get when you say, cool, here's my manager's email. Like people are like, oh shit. Then everything's done by contract. Then you'll never get screwed either. That helps too. And know your worth, like I said too. If you have a standard fee, don't play for anything less because you're going to play that place again and they'll pay you that same low price. And you just have to be firm. Like you just have to, and that's the other thing about having somebody represent you. That's nice as well, because when you show up to a place and if there's ever kind of conflict, which there's always going to be, like there's always going to be conflict. Just not all the time, but like at places you play, every once in a while you'll have conflict. It's inevitable. Now you can push it off on somebody, well, is that what my manager said? Like, oh, that's not my fault. Then you don't ever build a bad relationship with a venue, because I've played venues before where it's kind of tough and like, it's not super pro, like, doing the things that I've done. I wouldn't say as long as I've done it, but like playing some of the shows at the places that I've played, like there's a professional standard to it. It's like, oh, we already have everything set up. Like, just plug in, we'll sound check you. They have pro sound men, like, and then you'll play some places that still have equipment, but sound check takes 5 hours or like, and you're just kind of like, you get flustered. Like, you're just like, Jesus, I mean, come on, like, be professional.
Kind of like me today. I was like, fucking setting up like 20 minutes.
No, I wouldn't say it's that. I just think, and like, it's what, that, like, I wouldn't say, if I wouldn't have done the things like being on a radio talk show, like, or doing other podcasts, like,
how many podcasts have you done?
3.
Wow. What were they?
They were out in Nashville, and it's called The Firewall, and then there was another one that was Country Roads, that one was just on Instagram. And then yours, I guess. But then I've been on radio 4 times, and then
Damn.
yeah. So it's been, just trial and error.
Very media trained.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's more like I try to be as real as possible. Like you asked me, do you cuss? I think I do, and sometimes I have like a sailor's mouth, but when you're on live radio, that there's like fees and fines involved. If you say the F word, that's like a $20,000 fine on radio.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's for them. That's not for me. But I would probably have to pay it, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. So like, it's kind of a weird thing. But then like just time, like that's the other thing. It's another piece of advice that I've learned just from being around it is be a man of your word. Like you'd be surprised at how many artists like don't show up to shit. Mm-hmm. Like you'll hear it all the time. Oh, he's a flake. Oh, that person's a flake. And I've met a lot of flakes, people that I've tried to work with or like play with, they back out last minute, or they, just don't ever respond to you, or, you can tell they're not practicing, and it's like, again, if you're going to be a pro, be a pro. And I've gained so much opportunities just by presenting myself and not being afraid to put myself out there. Book every place you can. Like if you're trying to make it, the goal is to play, because you never know who's going to be in the audience, even if it's for 2 people. Like those 2 people will tell some other people, and then they're going to want to come and see you. Be cool. Don't be afraid to interact with the people that support you, your fans. Doing stuff like this, like be appreciative of the fact that people want to know about you or want to help you succeed. Like and be real. Like I've talked to the guy that he's the main host for 96.9 Country. His name's Sean Patrick. I remember talking to him the first time I met him, and he's interacted with so many famous people and famous country artists and just artists in general. And he's got a good gig because he meets a lot of famous people and has a lot of power because he's a radio host and plays radio music. And like, you obviously want to impress when you're an artist. And like you mentioned it earlier, you're very media trained. Like there's people that are like, there's dickheads out there, and they play the part well. Like they're very stuck up, and like I've met a few, and again, it's about 80-20. Everything's about 80-20.
Totally.
80% of them are freaking solid individuals. They're real as can be. 20% of them are just caught in their own shit. Like they think they're the crap, and they're playing like the same place that I'm playing. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to humble yourself, and like I've been real lucky to be around that, because I've seen good and bad. I've seen the people that I want to strive to be like, and I've seen people that I'm like, never would I be like that, Mm-hmm. And Sean made a great point. He was just like, you get stoic, I guess, in the fact of being in his position, because he's seen it as well. Like when they get on air, they're like, God's child, the best person ever. And then as soon as they get off air, they're talking shit to their manager, or they're just being a dick. And everybody has bad days, but like, man, my mom gave me good advice, and because there was kind of a point when I was dealing with my own drama of people, just the 20% that were saying stuff or like not supportive, and the haters, I have haters, and that's fine. Like, I like haters. They motivate me to try to achieve more, and, but they're out there, dude, like, and don't let those people stop you, because their opinion means nothing. And my mom gave me good advice, because like I was never really one for the spotlight, and like just was kind of, like I said, I was stage fright. I didn't really care to put myself out there like that, especially social media. And then, I just got sour with it. Like I just was like, man, like I don't know if I really want to do this. Like I'm dealing with scandals, and I'm like not even big.
Like a scandal. Like what kind of scandal?
Just like, you know, like people say things about you, like, you know, I've been called homophobic before, you know, racist.
Which is obviously not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's just, and
I'm
it's
Mexican as fuck.
and like, it's just silly, you know, it's just like people, I think we live in a world today that, you know, and I think and I don't want to get bashed for saying it because I think that, you know, there's definitely a fine line, but a lot of times people are just pussies, you know,
I agree.
frankly. And
For
like,
sure.
you know, I think that we live in a world today where everybody just kind of gets sad about shit that shouldn't affect them. And like, you know, God bless you people, because I would hate to live that way, to be honest. And like, I grew up with the sticks and stones motto, and like, I'm not going to let somebody's opinion of me
For sure.
determine the way that I look at myself or, you know, my confidence. And I advise people to feel the same. And like I said, there's a fine line. Like, obviously the racism stuff, I don't agree with it whatsoever. Like, it's bullshit. I think, you know, we're going to run it. You're going to, you know, it's people shouldn't be that way. And there's definitely people out there that are, and I don't condone it. I don't agree with it. And I think the beautiful thing about living in Pueblo is that we're such a melting pot. Like, I grew up with every ethnicity that you can imagine. And like, I don't think anything, you know, anything different of anybody. And I would assume that, you know, the people that went to school with me would have the same impression, you know. And I think, like I said, everybody grows up different, and there's no doubt that racism exists. And
Nah, racism, you know, that's like the lowest hanging fruit. You know, if
Yeah,
to call
right.
someone, the easiest thing to call someone is a bigot, a racist,
For sure.
a homophobic person, like, because like anything you say could be misconstrued. You know, it's all about like context.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being on this podcast, I'm new at it. I've had about like 50 episodes,
Right.
but like I have a good sense of humor. I don't know, like sometimes it's self-deprecating jokes. You know, I'll be like, you know, me and Winston, we'll go back and forth about like who's gay. You know, it's just like, if you can't, you know, if you want equal treatment, you know, everyone gets joked on.
Yeah.
You know, like just
Laugh at yourself.
exactly. Yeah, that's what makes people accepted. Like,
Yep.
just fucking joke on yourself, man. And like, I'm Mexican as fuck, so you know, you could have a 2-hour long conversation with me. You know, that's not that racist. They're no, you know, it's not even racist at all.
Yeah.
But
And it's always for the silliest reasons. Like, I know we talked about it earlier too. Like, it was literally, I got called racist because I played a patriotic fest, an America fest for July 4th. Like, and it was like,
I fucking love America, bro. I'd rather
me
be
too.
here than anywhere
Like,
else.
Same, you know. And I think if people do the research, they would feel the same way. You know, I think, does America have their problems? For sure. But that's
What
any
country
country.
doesn't? Yeah.
Yeah, that's anywhere.
What
And-
first world country does not have problems?
Exactly. And like, you know, it's like anything. And you know, people are going to start to laugh at the fact that I say 80-20, but like, I think you need to look at it like that. There's more love in this world than there is bad and hate, you know, and like, I think the hate obviously gets exemplified way more because it's easy, and like the news, that's what they feed off of. Like, how do you get people's reaction is
Divide and conquer.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, I mean, they're not going to post, you know, the news isn't going to post like all this happy shit all the time because that doesn't generate views. Like, if they're, oh my God, there was a massive fire that burned down all this shit. Like, oh my gosh, that pulls the heartstrings, pulls viewers.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad that it's that way, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, nowadays, back in the day, news used to be like 30 minutes a day. Now you have 24/7 fucking news channels. Like,
Yeah.
you have to come up with a breaking
Something.
news every single hour.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying, you know.
No doubt.
But you know, as far as I want to talk about these other podcasts you've been on, bro. What was the longest one you've ever been on?
Not long. Usually they've been an hour. And it's just
Going an hour and 34 here.
that's okay.
That's
Like,
fire.
you're asking so many cool questions, and like, and I love it. Like, I think, you know, you mentioned it to me before I came on, and you know that this is a little more free. I would say the ones that I've been on are a lot more scripted, and even some radio shows, they're just scripted, and that's fine. You know, but I think you just get, if you, obviously everything, you know, has to sometimes be the same. Like, tell me about yourself. Like,
Exactly.
who are you? What started your career? I think, for this purpose, for your viewers that don't know me or, that aren't really into country music, like, you got to kind of know a little bit about the person. And that's awesome. I think, I'm really proud of my story. And like, I think that if somebody can take something, but you're asking such good questions as far as like,
Thanks, bro.
I'm an open book, man. I'll tell you whatever you need. And if, for the artists that are out there and the viewers that are out there that are into music and want to do it, like, go for it. Fuck. Like, that's all I did. I just went for it and played and loved doing it. And I got lucky. And I think that can happen with anybody. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I think musicians are a big portion of our audience, bro. Mm-hmm. Like we were talking about, Pueblo has so many talent, people that are full of talent. They just get disregarded because they say, "Hey, I'm from Pueblo," mm-hmm. So people are just like, "Oh, okay, bye."
For sure.
Fuck you. But like you were talking about this podcast being more free. If I'm being honest, bro, I was kind of getting a little bit sauced there off that whiskey. I had to loosen up and drink some water.
Lightweight. See, dude, like when you brought this up, like since we kind of just catalyst into it, but you were like, I've never seen anybody drink whiskey and water. So like, shoot, this was 2 years ago, probably. We have a good family friend, and his nickname that we call him, his name is Steve Essenberg, but we call him Yoji. I don't know why. But we were camping, and I was playing around the campfire for my family. And I was like, hey man, can you make me a drink? He was like, yeah. He's like, I drink a whiskey water. Is that fine? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And keep in mind, this dude's got years on me. He's like 50. And so he's a seasoned drinker.
Yeah.
And, God knows how long he's been drinking this drink. But, I mean, it was stiff. It was whiskey to the brim with a drop of water in it, dude. And, like, I was trashed after drinking it. And I remember my first drink of it, I was expecting it to be, for some reason in my head, I was thinking it was going to taste like a whiskey Coke or something. And I took a huge gulp of it, dude, and I was just like choked up, my nostrils burned. And he goes, that's an alcoholic's drink right there, buddy.
Oh, fuck, no.
I was like, and dude, like I continued on drinking it. And the thing with singers, like, for me, like, if you sing and drink beer or, like, carbonated, you burp when you sing, for me. Mm-hmm. So I just stuck with drinking whiskey water. And my drink now is a double shot whiskey water. Whatever whiskey, I don't really care. But I like Crown or a good bourbon. Mm-hmm. So, Big Bear. This is fire bourbon.
For sure. Hey, and this is only available at Big Bear.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm assuming we're probably going to finish this bottle.
Damn, we'll see. What is it called even?
I don't know. But I'm going to either take the bottle or I'm going to...
Jeffers Creek, bro.
Okay, because that's fire. So, what's good, Big Bear?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, dude, like I just started drinking this thing, and I get that so often. Like somebody will tell me, hey, can I get you a drink? And I'm sure. What are you drinking? Whiskey water. What? It's always the same. And then people are so like kind of disgusted with the fact that I drink it, but I'm not an alcoholic. It's good for me.
It's a good like thought, like you're getting drunk, but you're also getting your water intake.
It is. You don't get hangovers from it. I promise you that.
Yeah. So like you might be onto something there, honestly.
Yoji.
Yoji. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm more of a smoker, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like second blunt, I like to smoke down for sure.
Yeah.
No hangovers at all.
But I've never smoked before.
No.
So you'll have to tell me what's a good high feel like.
What does being
a good
high feel
buzzed
like?
High? Yeah.
I think being high feels like you're like really happy. You kind of look on the bright side of things. You're always like, I don't know. For me, I'm kind of always like, I'm a determined high person. Like I'm always like, oh, I want to do this, this, and this, and this, But it makes me like accomplish stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I look on the brighter side of things, and I'm nicer to people, and yeah.
So you're You know how they say you're a good drunk?
Yeah.
So you're a good high.
Exactly. I'm a happy high person.
Happy high.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy high and a good drunk.
I
Gotcha.
feel like generally that's how it is for everyone.
Yeah.
Like if you're high and you're a dick, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
give me those damn Cheetos.
yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know, and especially during these long conversations, like, it just gives me a more creative outlook. You know,
Yeah.
like asking cooler questions, I guess.
Opens it up when you're asking fire questions. So
That's fire, bro. Hell yeah. You know, are you pressed for time? Are you trying to get out of here?
no, I'm good.
Damn. We said we're gonna finish this bottle.
I think so.
Cheers,
I mean,
bro.
we can talk about whatever.
Hell yeah. All right. So you were talking about kind of like the patriotic shit or whatever. I don't want to get too much into that.
Yeah. No, I understand.
But like, what about like governmental conspiracies and shit? You like a conspiracy theorist? Or
Oh yeah, 100%.
hell yeah. All right. All right. It's like
And
aliens.
I don't care who gets mad at me for saying these things, because I feel like if you're not questioning some stuff, like, you're doing it wrong. Like, if you just buy into all the bullshit that everybody tells you, like, I don't care what side of politics you're on, it don't matter. Like, you should question stuff because they do some shady things on both sides of the aisle. Like, so.
I was talking more about like aliens and shit.
Oh,
what are you
yeah.
talking about?
Yeah. I was talking about like 9/11 being an inside job. You know, JFK assassination was planned. Martin Luther King's planned. FBI stuff. So hopefully your podcast doesn't get shut down for me talking about this. So maybe we should just talk about aliens. No, because I don't know what the rules are and regulations.
I feel like if Joe Rogan can do it, we can do it, bro. Like if Joe Rogan
Facts.
sets the bar.
Yes. Aliens. I totally believe in aliens.
Damn.
Do you?
You know, growing up in Colorado, bro, that's kind of like they say it's like a hot spot for aliens because the DIA or whatever. Like that's like the fucking. I'm not even sure. Like that blue horse or whatever is like.
Lucifer.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's where everything's gonna go down apparently. Yeah. But I definitely believe in aliens. I feel like I saw a UFO one time. I don't know. I don't really. Maybe I was dreaming. What about you? Ever seen a UFO or anything?
No, I haven't, dude. But like, part of me agrees. Like, you know, I think that even though I've never seen it, I feel like it has to be out there. Like, we're so vast. This like space. I mean. And, you know, as far as what scientists' theories are, like, you know, there's an opposite Earth because of Big Bang, like the way they explain it. Obviously, it could be wrong. We don't know. But the theories explain it as that. And, like, we've discovered, like, organisms, if you consider that life on other planets. But,
I do.
You know, I mean, it's there. How advanced, I don't know. But I definitely think that we can't be the only planet that is habitable. I mean, with how vast space is, like, I mean, especially if, like you said, the theories are there's an identical version of us or
multiple.
whatever.
I think like multiple versions of us, bro. Like, what do they say? Like
the multiverse in Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Did you watch that?
I did.
Damn. I have no spoilers, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
We could have talked about it.
I probably will never watch it.
Why?
Honestly, like, I'm not even a huge Marvel fan. I'm not even like...
Well, this has been fun.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Thanks for having me, guys.
The last Marvel movie I saw was Black Widow. That shit was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was good.
But, all right, back onto this.
Yeah.
You know, like... Yeah, exactly. What about, like the simulation theory and all that shit? Like, are you in tap with the metaverse?
Not as much. That one I have a hard time getting into as far as like the simulation stuff. But I have seen some things that are like the birds that like pause flying midair and they're just flying straight, you know.
I've never seen that.
Never seen that.
Explain it to the people.
Like I've seen some videos of like on TikTok or whatever. And like for me, there's no way they can be edited, you know? Like they're just too
clean.
Yeah, I mean it seems impossible, but like I saw this one where this guy was literally videoing, and it could have been a drone. I mean, I also believe the government spies on us, so believe what you think on that. But this bird was literally just mid in the air, like like it was dead, like just stuck in the air, not moving. It was just hovering.
Like, what was the camera angle though? Was it like under? Or...
It was under. But I mean, like, they were like panning down to like their friends, like, "Are you fucking seeing that?" Which, you know, it could be whatever, but
damn, you know, like
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, bro. But like, I definitely agree. Like you said, the government spies on us.
Yeah,
obviously, yeah. Like, and the whole NSA fucking what's that guy's name? He moved to Russia.
Oh yeah, yeah, the WikiLeaks guy.
Yeah, I forget his name. Damn.
I know.
I don't know, WikiLeaks guy for sure. But
Yeah.
he's been on Joe Rogan like twice, and those are really awesome interviews. He talks about how like how he actually looked for aliens like in the files. I'm not sure, like the undisclosed files, and he didn't find anything. Yeah, so he was like, I don't believe in aliens because I saw shit that you wouldn't believe, and that wasn't in there.
Respectable.
Yeah,
I also think too that they bullshit us. Like,
for sure.
You know, I think they have found a way to, you know, you brought up like DIA. I don't know how in depth like all that stuff is but I kind of think it is suspicious how they just kind of make light of it. Like, I don't know, for people that have been to DIA recently, I mean, they like posted up on the fucking like walls there now, like, oh, we're building for our underground facility. Like, they
really?
yeah, I mean, look it up, like you'll see it. But like, I do think it's weird how they have like Nazi like paintings and yeah, I mean, that's weird in my opinion. But like the WikiLeaks stuff, getting back to like the aliens, I mean, I'm pretty sure, you know, I think it was the Navy or the Air Force came out and said that they were real. I mean, they've had run-ins with that stuff, and you know, we've had like our presidents, the last 3 have all said that they exist. I mean, they've seen things. So
Obama did say that like very recently, bro.
Yeah,
I did hear that he was on like some kind of podcast or something, right?
Yeah,
and he said that shit.
Yeah, because I think they have clearance to say it now. Because he said it, Trump said it, Biden I think has said it.
Maybe he incoherently said it. He was like, he was like, I don't remember.
Right, and like yeah, I know it's kind of weird, but like I know that they put it out on the news, so like, you know, they've definitely come out and said it, but again, like sometimes you have to sit there, and again, maybe it's just the conspiracy theorist. The question it all. Like, I think it's kind of suspicious how they just are so like jokey about it, you know, like
for sure.
They say that's a good way to fool people is by making light of situations. So
I saw that I don't know if this is true. Fucking, you know, I get all my shit off Facebook, but like they like recently like started prepping for like an alien disclosure again. Like, you know how they did like a big file disclosure like a year ago?
Oh yeah.
Like they're prepping for another one.
Okay.
So we'll see what comes up in that one. You know, I truly don't know how many files. I just saw like the fucking like the top 100 photos that come off of that shit. You know, like people, that shit goes viral, and like other videos or whatever.
Right.
Like the ping experiment or whatever. Like the radar on the plane that went really viral, but that shit's insane.
Yeah.
But so aside from that, you were talking about how DIA has like the paintings and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They also have like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like gonna be opened. I'm not sure what year.
I don't either.
Yeah, but
I know they have it. And then there's like it's like subliminal messaging. I mean, what the fuck? Like the blue horse with the eyes, like they call that Lucifer. I mean,
like 2 people died building that shit.
Yeah. Like I think that's weird.
2 builders, yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's strange. I mean, why would you call it Lucifer? I mean, like I said, I'm a big believer in God, so I'm not, you know, Satanist by any means, but that's weird that you would call it that for something that's like, we all know that that's what that means, you know, and like whether you're believe in God or not, we all know that's what that means. And it's weird that they just put it out there like that. And then shoot, I mean, like some of these other, yeah, I mean, it's just weird. Like,
especially getting on a plane, you're like,
God,
and
right?
there's Lucifer right to the left.
And they have tours that they show and like they explain it. They like, again, I mean, I think that's weird.
Yeah, fuck that.
But the Nazi paintings and shit, like that's strange. And it's like apparently they describe it as like the world takeover. So
yeah.
it's like the New World Order and all that stuff. So, I mean, and it is up there for everybody to see. So it's not like it's a conspiracy.
There's like
it's
13.
there.
There's like 13 paintings of that
Yeah.
shit, or maybe even like 20. Something
Yeah.
Like that.
So, I mean, let's seriously, like, that's why the rumors of it came about, is because of those things. So
Oh yeah.
then they had to kind of find a reason well, people are buying into the shit. So we need to figure out some bullshit to, yeah. And then they recently started putting up like they have like things like, oh, we're under construction because we're building our underground tunnels and we're the lizard people and like
Oh, no,
all
no.
that stuff.
All right, and we're back. I had to take a piss, low key. But all right. So we were talking about conspiracies. All right, aside from conspiracies, what could a person find Cody Cozz doing on an average day?
Man, I go to mass 7:30 in the morning.
So you're Catholic.
I go to the gym after that, and then since I'm moving so soon, while I've been doing music, I worked for my dad also full time. So I was kind of busy for a while. Now I'm not as busy, but I was doing that, going to school online full time, which I'm done now. Was working full time and doing music so just keeping myself occupied. And then after we kind of got the go ahead that things were gonna get on radio and pub deal and all that stuff, I had to stop doing construction just for injury purposes if anything happened.
Yeah.
And so but on an average day, dude, I'm fully committed to my craft. Like, I'm learning to play guitar better, so I spend a lot of time playing guitar. And then usually I try to write every day, whether it's melodies that I record or I jot down a verse of a song or a chorus, think of song titles. It's easy to get complacent doing things. And so, I just try to find things to do to get better at, because there's always something you can do. Like, obviously, like your appearance matters. So, taking it serious in the gym and stuff like that is important. As far as like, there's a lot of things I'm doing on the side, like building a website, researching music industry lingo, business side of stuff. I'm not as keen on that side of things, so I want to make sure that I don't go into things not prepared, or when I'm talking to somebody that I'm just like, oh yeah, like I know what I'm talking about and not know. And then, I just, not that I'm afraid of doing that, but like I just don't want to be not prepared. I study a lot. I like to watch a lot of documentaries or like live performances on YouTube or just like Netflix or something, to kind of study just like how to format a show, or watching entertainers from all genres. So I mean, there's a lot. I like to play with my dog. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do right now before I move. So
Hell yeah. So all right. So you're gonna make this big move. What changes have you made in your life, to prepare for it?
Learned to cook because I'm not good at it. So I've had to learn to do some of that stuff. I'm nervous about it, to be honest. It's a big change. And like I said earlier, I'm a big family guy, so a little nervous about it for sure. But excited at the same time. Like, I wouldn't be going if I didn't have the opportunities. I have a lot of success doing it in the region. And frankly, they're going to send me back often anyway to expand. And so I'll still be here playing shows, but I'll have to live there because I'm working there and missing a lot of opportunities not being there. So it's important to be there. We kind of have just been game planning how to make it work. We're not obviously buying, we meaning the team, and I'm moving there with my best friend. His name is Mitch Carter. He's also a songwriter singer.
Oh, really?
And
You guys got any songs together?
we do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we do actually. And he's good. He's about a year, I would say, behind me when he started. And then we met in college. We were locker mates, actually. And so it's kind of funny that we reconnected after about a year and then just hit it off and have been inseparable pretty much ever since. And
They made you guys share a locker in college?
like we were locker neighbors, like we had our
okay.
own lockers, but we were
Okay,
locker
okay.
neighbors.
Okay, I was like, damn,
So
what the
his,
fuck?
his locker was like literally next door to mine.
Word. All right.
Yeah. So but
Like, that's my pencil, bro. No, that's my pencil.
that's D2 for you, buddy. We don't get the cool shit like Alabama does. Good luck tonight. Roll Tide. But yeah, so no, he's moving there with me. And then I have a close confidant who's kind of my manager right now. And he doesn't really like to be named. He's just kind of behind the scenes, but a lot of people know who he is.
That's a good manager.
Yeah, he's a real one for sure. But he's also gonna be in and out of there often. He owns a few businesses here in Colorado or in Pueblo, and so he has to do that too. He's got kids and all that stuff. But he just took a liking to me. Has helped me as far as being my confidant in things. Has helped me achieve a lot of the goals, that I couldn't achieve on my own. So if it wasn't for him, and him being in my life and helping me with a lot of things too financially, I've been really lucky to have him in my life. And he helps me just with a lot of not getting taken advantage of. I mentioned earlier too about being able to be represented by somebody. And at 23, you're going to get you're very green, you don't know shit. So here's, you get that a lot. And I avoid that because of him. And he's also a hard ass too. So he helps keep me responsible as well and will not help me if I don't do what I'm supposed to, and sees growth. And if I'm not booking shows, he's not going to help me, and helps keep a good head on my shoulders. Has straight up told me if he finds out whatsoever that we're bringing women or whatever back to our apartment in Nashville, we're cut off.
Not even one woman?
No.
Not even
So
if you
we're-
find like a girlfriend?
He said you can buy your own hotel room.
Oh, that's all right. That's fine. That's fair.
Yeah. So he's legit, and he knows the reason that I'm going there. And like I said, I want to make him proud too. Like I said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to financially do things. He's kind of my investor, too. So really, really blessed to have him. He's a good friend. When I met him, before any of this even became anything, we just hit it off, and just a good friend. I can't say anything better about him. But yeah, so he's getting himself his own room too. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we've prepped. We've been in quite a few meetings together. A lot of business meetings with the label and with Craig and his manager.
What label is it? I'm sorry.
Combustion
Oh,
Music.
that's okay.
Yeah,
Combustion.
Yeah.
So
That's the pub deal.
okay. That's
Yeah.
the pub deal.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's label affiliated, but not. I'm still independent. Like, I'm not one of their artists. Like, they haven't picked me up. So they're just gonna help me get my songs on the radio and stuff like that. And then it's kind of just a trial period, basically, like any pub deal. It's like, how well do you come across to the audiences? And if you suck and nobody likes what you have, then you're gone, essentially. So it's just big steps. So like, we decided just to rent. Like we debated on whether we were going to buy a condo, which we didn't think, there's just so many unknowns, and like it would be nice. We just decided like the renting was the best option for now. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Until something huge comes along and I get swept off my feet. Like if I make it huge, then I won't commit because, I'm also going to be on the road playing shows. Like I can't be stuck in Nashville either, just like here. Like I can't be just stuck playing here. Otherwise you're not going to grow. And so, that's no different than Tennessee. Like you can dilute yourself there too. So, you gotta be able to grow and play all over. And, right now we're just kind of setting up that part of it. And then we're also setting up like radio tour, which is going to essentially just be me. And I'm going to try to find a guitar player to accompany me. And hopefully I'm going to look for somebody that can sing and that plays guitar.
But you play guitar as well.
I do. Yeah. Just more so rhythm though. Like I can't solo and do all that stuff. So I want somebody that can do that. To just make it a better show, because basically what a radio tour is, you go on air, talk about yourself, introduce yourself to the world, the industry, and then you sing a song or whatever, and then you play that evening at a bar or a concert venue type of thing, and you're represented by a radio rep. So usually what happens is they'll have like whether it be local or iHeartRadio will sponsor an event, and they'll promote it as up-and-coming artist, country singer, check out his song. They'll play your song on the radio that morning, and then they'll direct the audiences that love it to where you're playing that night. And you just do that from town to town. So you just kind of small type of tour, so there's a lot of things that came into why we were going to rent. I don't know how often I'll be there, when it comes to playing. So, it's going to be my home base, I guess is the right way to say it. So we're going to do it that way as opposed to it being my home. But, like I said, too, like if you're not there, you're missing a lot of opportunities to meet people. And, Craig has invited me to a lot of things and has put me in front of a lot of his friends that are huge. I was in session one time and Rascal Flatts guys came in. Oh, wow. And so that was awesome. I got to hang out with them for about 4 hours, which was amazing. He's introduced me to a lot of phenomenal, amazing songwriters that have written some of the best songs of all time. So it's pretty interesting. I have another friend who's also out there, who I will at some point probably become my full-time manager. And, she started just through the ringer. She actually might be my radio rep. I don't really know how it's going to work. She's also got her own career path in music, just not as a singer. And she's from Pueblo, Colorado. Her name's Gianna Norton. She went to Centennial.
Wow.
And she actually started working with Sean Patrick at 96.9, couldn't grow anymore here, and left and moved to Nashville. And now she's getting amazing opportunities there. And she as well has so many opportunities there that she, being hopefully my manager at some point, has also put me in front of good opportunities there too. So it's like February 29th, I'm going to like this country music masquerade event. And it's just, you're essentially, and that's the biggest thing there. Like if your face is being seen, by industry people, you're going to be in it. And like, I already am, just very small. But like I've, met so many people now that like, we talk about, I link up with them when I go to Nashville now, or like, when I move there, they're like, oh dude, let's go. I'll show you lots of cool things. Like this dude, his name's Styles Howery. He's a published artist with Warner Chappell and really awesome artist. I got to play with him at a show out there, and he's at a bigger label, than a lot of people. And he's very talented, great songwriter. And he was just like, dude, he's like, I'm really impressed with you. The first time, like I've only played with him once, but when I played with him, he had never heard of me. And I really impressed him, and he was like, dude, when I came backstage, shook my hand and stuff, and we just got to talking, and he was just like, dude, whatever I can do to help skyrocket your career, and he told me the same thing. He's just like, really what everything comes down to is, you got to know people, you got to know people. And that's why it's important to play like everywhere. And, growing a fan base is big. Don't limit yourself. Like, take the opportunities to go play out of Pueblo, and Pueblo will support you. Like, they get it, and Pueblo understands that. And that's what's beautiful about Pueblo, is that we support Puebloans. And, I've played, shows in Springs and Denver and Fort Collins where people from Pueblo will come all the way to come watch me. And it's amazing, and I've never met them other than at my shows, and they're just consistent fans that like to come. Now by now I've got to know them personally, but when I first met them, they were strangers, just coming to watch some music. So it's been amazing.
100%, man. That kind of relates to an earlier interview I had. I had Tyler Schoen on here.
Oh yeah, Tyler's a good friend.
Yeah, he was for the people that don't know, Tyler has mingled with like the he's from Wake Up Pueblo. He's mingled with like I don't know how much with Grant Cardone, but he from the interview, if you watched it, he's been to Miami and he's mingled with these billionaires, millionaires, and like One Jam. I asked him if he could leave the people with One Jam, and he said contacts equal contracts. Just very straight. And like, it's so simple. It's so simple just to hear it like that, but like it's so true, man. Yeah. Like a good relationship will get you farther than money can get you.
100%. Networking and that interpersonal connection is priceless. I mean, just with experience. And like, the thing is, like, people love to talk about themselves, and that's what I've learned. I mean, they want, when you actually show genuine interest, and there is not one artist that I have played with that I have not asked, hey, can I pick your brain? I'm not afraid to do that.
Totally.
Absolutely. I have some of them said no, for sure. Like, there's been a few, 20% of them probably.
80-20.
Yeah. But every other one has been in your shoes. Like, they are willing to help you. I don't care what genre it is, and like, people, like, especially when you really have made it, and that's the way I look at Craig. Like, for me, like, he's given me so much confidence because he's played all over the world, has probably had a plethora of openers play with him. And I'm one of the few guys that he's taken under his wing and helped make it. Like, and I could call him right now and he would be like, hey, what's up, man? Just on Johnny on the spot. Like, and isn't afraid to, like, if I have the simplest question, like, in fact, I have to talk to him this week about a DM that I got from just like a business thing, that I'm not sure if I'm, allowed to do it or not, but he's that available to me, and that's priceless. Like, he's not paying me, I've paid him some stuff, but that's just because he's helped me with producing and recording and getting me in front of professional labels. Like, so his time, and there's things that he does on the side. Like, I just got nominated for, so there's a Rocky Mountain Country Music Awards, and that's a 9-state regional, like, CMA. It's like the award shows. And
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
And, I mean, it is as legit as it comes. And
that's sick.
I'm a nominee for New Artist of the Year. And considering and he told me this months ago, like, you need to find out, how to get involved with that. Knew nothing about it at the time. And, I ended up contacting a few people just to find out what it is. And he just said, if you can even be just a nominee for it, like, at your timeline, with how little of time you've done this and your age, like, that's a huge deal. And you'll get so many opportunities just from being there. And so I was assuming that I would probably get a nomination, but I also wasn't sure because I didn't know what the qualifications were. And I just found out this news not too long ago. Like, it was probably last Wednesday. So, this is the first, other than my Instagrams and socials, like, this is the first place that I'm even talking about it. So that's pretty sweet. And like, he had told me that months and months ago. And so I texted him the picture that I was a nominee, and I said, I freaking did it. Like, was so pumped. And he goes, hell yeah, man. He's like, I'm so proud of you. And he's like, I'm going to start setting up a campaign to see if we can get you that trophy. So That's a priceless, dude. And that's something that he's just doing because he wants to. And that's how good of a dude he is.
He believes in you.
Totally. And like, that has given me so much confidence. Like, there's two things that I've done that have happened to me that have given me, or I guess I should say three things that have given me ultimate confidence in what I have, that haters no longer bother me. Craig is one of them, for sure. This dude tells me, he's like, you're going to play the Opry one day. You're going to play the Ryman, which those are like iconic country music things.
What is it? Like venues?
Yeah. So like the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville is like the pinnacle of playing. Like, it's like you've made it if you get invited to play there. Really? And Craig plays it every year, probably 4 or 5 times a year. And I don't know if he's a member, like if he's, but I would assume he probably is. But that's like, you've made it if you get inducted as a member of the Grand Ole Opry. And like, so there's a lot, like, and he played it one time, and I was like, man, we were gonna try to come out and see you. He goes, I texted him, and I was like, good luck, whatever. And he's like, that's okay. He's like, but I'm gonna be front row when you play it. And I was just like, thanks, dude. Like, just believes in me. And then playing Memorial Hall with Josh Turner was amazing. Like, I remember when they called me and they said, hey, is this Cody? And I was like, yep. And they said, awesome. Well, we would love to have you open for Josh Turner at Memorial Hall. And I was like, shit down both legs. Because as far as Pueblo is concerned, like, I maxed out Pueblo as far as playing places. And so they put me on the marquee that I was playing with him, that I was opening for him, and I posted it, and it just blew up, like, beyond anything that I've done so far. And Pueblo, like, just absolutely showed out for me. And his tour manager came up to me when I was sound checking. He said, hey, man, I just wanted to introduce myself. And he said, he's like, I'm impressed with what you got going on. He's like, I just wanted you to know. He's like, when they put your name on the list, or that on the marquee that you were playing, he said ticket sales went up 80%. It ended up being a sold out show. And I was blown away. And I remember my last song, like, I was just so in the moment, and, I ended up getting a standing ovation, and I started crying, and like, that was one of the best moments of my life. And like, I'll never forget that moment, because it was the first time I played a concert hall. It was my first sold out concert hall. It wasn't obviously for me, it was for Josh Turner, but like, it was just incredible. And I'll never forget it in my whole life. So that's the second. And then, I pretty much forgot the third, but the third or fourth. But yeah, between Craig believing in me and that, and then the first time I sang in Nashville, like I said earlier on in the show, I played with Matt Stell and his bass player, was like, Nashville will tell you if you're good or not. So when I got the opportunity to sing at a bar, at one of the bars and stages in Nashville, I was so nervous. Like I was twitchy. Like I didn't even know what to think. And so when I played and people went ape shit, like I was like, I'm a player. Like I can make it in this thing.
As far as ape shit goes, what do you mean? Like,
they were like so zoned in, and it wasn't even my show. So they had like a guy playing. So it was Craig's buddy. Craig, it was after my first session. Craig called his friend who was playing the stage in Nashville on Broadway. And he said, hey man, I'm working with this kid. He's like, would you mind if he comes and sings a song? And he goes, no, absolutely. And so I went down to the stage, and I was just sitting in the audience, drinking. And I was just like, when is this dude going to call me up? Like, I don't know. Didn't know when he was going to say, hey, all right, we have this special guest. So then when it happened, I was walking up and I just had butterflies like crazy. And it was all slow motion. I mean, I was walking in slow motion, just like remembering what that guy said. They'll tell you if you're good or not. And I remember I hit the first step of the stage, and I just thought to myself, I was like, what the fuck am I nervous for? I was like, this is my moment right now. So he gives me his guitar, and I put it on. I tried to act like I'd been there before. I told the band, I was like, I want to play this song in this key. Okay. Like Johnny on the spot. And that's why they're pros. That's why they're Nashville pros. And it went off without a hitch. I sang, and I just was like, I need to be an entertainer, and sang like. And then when I got off, the crowd just was locked in, and like they weren't really paying attention to the other guy, and they just all were eyes on me. They went like clapping, going ape shit as far as just holy fuck, like wow. And when I turned around to put the guitar back on the stand, the band guys, I remember them looking at me like wide-eyed, and like they didn't really care about who I was when I first walked up. And then afterwards they were like, dude, like, what's your name? Like shaking my hand. And I was equally like, Cody, like, it's good to meet you guys. Like, I'm working with Craig Campbell. And they were like, holy shit. And so then when I was getting ready to walk down, Tyler, my manager guy, was with me. And I know, shit, I'm not supposed to say his name. But anyway.
I'll beep it.
Yeah. And so my manager dude was out in the stands, and some lady came up to him while I was singing, and she goes, do you know him? And he goes, no, I don't. Just pretended. And she apparently was like, well, we just witnessed a Toby Keith moment. Like, that was fucking awesome. And the story with Toby Keith is that he went to Nashville and wasn't known, and he's a huge country artist. And real like an older guy, but the first time he was in Nashville, his buddies knew he could sing, and he went up on stage and was able to sing for some reason, and sang, blew the crowd away. And a label executive happened to be in the audience, and he signed a record deal the next week, and ended up being one of the biggest country artists of all time. And then so that was a huge compliment for me. And then while I was sitting in the stand or in the audience afterwards, I was just on cloud nine, and the moment went so fast for me that I didn't really get to be in it. And then the crowd, the lady that said that was like, came up to me, I want to hear you sing again. And I was like, yeah, I probably won't be able to. Thank you though. And so then she starts chanting my name, and the whole audience was like, Cody. So the dude called me back up, and I got to sing another song, and I was just like, holy fuck, like I can't believe this is happening right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So I ended up singing another song, got down, kind of felt like shit because it was the guy's show, So then we left and we went to a different bar, and long story short on that one, I was able to end up singing at that one. And again, just the same reaction, and just those reactions and the experiences was like, I could live that over and over and over again forever. And so between those 3 moments, for sure, of Memorial Hall, Craig, and singing my first time in Nashville, like, I have ultimate confidence in my abilities and just, trusting the opportunities that I've been given and the blessings, and just, just gonna full send it, and see what happens. So.
Wow. That's awesome, man. All right. So like in a few sentences, what is some advice that you would give to an up and coming artist, especially coming out of a small town like Pueblo?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
So I think, as far as just a recap, love the haters for one. If you believe in what you got going on, there's a niche for you. There's a crowd for you. One of the pieces of advice that I got told was, even if 1% of people like the song that's on the radio, that's still going to be like 1 million people. So you're going to have a crowd that loves your shit, and your life is going to change forever. That's what I was told. So it's like, believe in yourself. Don't let anybody tell you different, because you can always grow and get better. Like, if let's just say you're mediocre at what you got going on, practice. Don't be afraid to practice. Don't be afraid to expand outside of Pueblo. Play literally everywhere that you can. Like, opportunities will not present themselves unless you go take them. So be a man of your word. Or, if you're telling somebody that you're going to do something, do it, because there's a lot of flakes in the industry, and you don't want to be labeled as one of those, because then you're not reliable. Nobody's going to recommend you for things. Like, I've lived off of that, like people recommending me to play places, and that in turn gets me more and more opportunities. And, oh man, jeez, there's so many. Like, don't be an asshole. Don't think, that you can always be better. Like, if you get to experience like the growth that I have, of this like small town fame, cause there is that, like, and it's amazing. Like, it's so cool. They're like, to be noticed and to take pictures and sign autograph. Like, it's so cool, but be humble about it. Like, if you're a fucking dick, nobody's going to support you, and people can see right through that. Like, so much so that, like, there's definitely people that have made it in the industry that are that 20% that I talk about that are just dicks. And, like, you don't want to be that. And people can smell that. Like, they can see through it so fast. And you just don't want to be that. I mean, remember why you're doing music, and do it because you love it. Don't do it because you're, want to make a shit ton of money. I know I'm writing a lot more than a few sentences right now.
I appreciate it.
But, this is all just stuff that I've learned. And there was no doubt that I was green and at one point. And, that leads me to say, know your worth too. Don't, I gave a shout out to those other artists that sing in Pueblo, Christian Hawkes, Matt Fusen, Jeremy Kitchens, and the plethora of others, and the ones that are like the Pueblo rappers. I know there's not a lot of venues out there for you guys, and like, but there's definitely some. And like, I think that, I've told a few people, one of my buddies, Josh Smith, he always asked me like, hey man, can you help me get into some of these venues? And I was like, I'll try. And I tried, but nobody really wants rap in their venues, but Denver does. Like, Denver isn't necessarily a country mecca. Make the trip, even if you got to sleep in your fucking car, like, book a show in fucking Denver, something. Like, there's opportunities out there. Play backyard shows. Like, I've played at the shittiest places. Like, I've played at places that are, just not even probably worth playing. But again, be humble enough to play anywhere, and because you love it, and the right people are going to find you. They're going to recommend you to places. Like we talked about, networking is huge. Your contacts or your contracts. Like there's so much that, and don't be afraid to ask questions. If you meet people that are famous or that have made it, a big thing that I have come to learn just is, like what I'm doing is very rare, but it's not impossible. And there's a lot of people that have done it in the world. And why would you try to reinvent the wheel? Like, go study the people that have made it. That's why I watch documentaries. Documentaries for any artist will tell you how to make it.
Oh, yeah. Interviews.
Totally.
Interviews are key into their soul, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if you see a 2-hour interview with, I'll always relate this shit back to hip hop, but like, when I see a 2-hour interview with like, really any hip, I'm more into like the behind the scenes. So like a Breakfast Club or like, what's another one? Like, Drink Champs. I really enjoy that one. Or like, Everyday Struggle when that was on. But like, if you emulate the greats, you'll one day be great. Like,
for sure.
Exactly. I totally agree. That's how I kind of look at it with this podcast, man. Like, yeah, I don't know how, I didn't go to school for editing videos and shit like that, but like, if I could copy how you're editing videos, then I could fucking make a video just as good.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
And the info's out there. YouTube it. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many ways to succeed, and no way is better than another way. Like, is there easier ways? For sure. Is there hard ways to do it? For sure. But there's a lot of ways to make it. And like the podcast, absolutely. Like, yours is the best podcast that I've been on, just as far as the interaction.
You heard that here first, folks. Cody Cozz.
What's up, street champs?
Hey.
You know what I mean? But it is like you're building a relationship and getting somebody that has been so trained to answer things, because that's all you really get. Like, you don't really get to dive deep into the person. So like for me, that's what this has been, is like, you got to really ask the things, and I got to talk about the things that I want to talk about, or like, it's been the best experience. So I appreciate you having me on, dude, for real.
Hell yeah, bro. I appreciate you coming so much, man. Like I don't get like super excited over interviews like over that often, because like, I'll do sometimes 6 interviews in a week, bro.
Yeah.
But like, this one I was like I knew this one was gonna be it for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah, for sure. And maybe that was, I don't know, maybe that was like preemptive, but like when I told people about this, like they knew your name, and they were like, he's moving away from Pueblo, like he's the one that made it out of here.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you could relate that to any creative outlet. You could relate that to like musician or not, like the drive is in everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, you're doing so. That's so, yeah. Jesus. The drive, like grit, people. Like, if you're doing something wrong, I promise you, if you're waking up at noon, if you're waking up at 1 o'clock and starting your fucking shit, like, I will not reiterate that enough. You're doing something wrong if that's what you're doing. Because I've played shows till 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I'm still up starting my day at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm working on my shit. Like, drive, work your ass off. Because, like I said, nobody's going to give a shit about what you got going on except you. Mm-hmm. And, like, that comes in time. Like, even the people that have helped me, they have their own careers. There's a plethora. Their job is to work with people like me because I'm going to be paying them. But what if I stop paying them? What if I'm not working my ass off and I'm not paying them shit? I'm not making money. Next guy. Mm. You know what I mean? Like, 100%. You couldn't have said it better. There's a drive there. And it shows. Like, one of my college coaches said, what you do in the dark shines in the light. For sure. Mm. Like, that's it in a nutshell. Like, if you want to succeed in music, you can, but you got to work for it. And that's no different than anything in life.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You know, I think that's a lost thought process right now, but you know, the people that are in tune with that know, and they're the people that I want in tune with me. You know, like I don't want anyone in my circle that's fucking not working. You know, if you're a leech, you could be on the sidelines for sure.
For sure.
That's it's harsh, but
It's reality.
yeah, 2022, business oriented.
Yes. We all had our 2-year break with COVID.
Yes.
We got all our lazy bullshit. We can all sulk and bitch and moan, but it's over now.
Yeah.
You know, are there still some restrictions and whatever? Totally. But we have found ways to survive beyond it. And if you're using that as your crutch, and if you're using any excuse as your crutch, I mean, you're just, you're choosing to do so, in my opinion. So
Facts. Damn. All right. So before you leave, could we get that unreleased snippet?
yes.
Hey, all right,
Yes.
all right.
So you guys, so the people that will listen to this, okay, like
It's 2 hours and 40 minutes in.
2:40, okay. So maybe there can be something like that you cut so that people can hear this, but this is gonna be my first single. This is called "On My Way," and this is gonna be released on national radio and all streaming services at the beginning of February. So it's pretty crazy that it's legitimately actually happening, legitimately happening. But yeah, I'm super excited about this, and nobody has really heard this. I kind of put this little clip it out on social medias, but it's kind of masked a little bit, and so this will be hopefully it comes across clear. But this is I really love this song. So
Got this got the
Yeah.
crowd cheering in the background. Yeah, Street Champs. First official snippet of Cody Cozz's new first radio single. What was the title one more time?
On My Way.
On My Way.
Just hung around on Dead River Road, fighting the wheel to keep control. Hammer down, pouring on the coal. The dust is rolling. Got your picture on the dash. Your pretty green eyes looking back. Hope I don't see no blue lights flash. I'm on my way. I'm trying to outrun these headlights. I'm running through all these red lights. No, I can't wait, baby, I'm on my way. I got my wheels turning, get a couple candles burning, just to sip a wine away. I'm on my way.
That's all we get,
Damn. That is fire, man.
dude. It's
Hell yeah.
And
You were like, I don't want to see those blue lights. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire, man. Hell
Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah, I'm really excited for it to be out. Like it's just been a long, and again, like it's, you know, a lot. It's all the unseen stuff. Like this has been stuff we've been working on for the last 7 months. You know what I mean? And it's just been back and forth to Nashville. A lot of meetings, a lot of like demos sent back and forth of, do you like this? Do you like this? You know, it's a long process. It's a lot of work, a lot of, you know, time that gets invested into it, a lot of people involved. And, you know, like I love showing that little clip because like the song just gets punchier and better. And like, I just can't wait for people to hear it.
Damn.
So
What day exactly?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay,
So,
okay. What
depending
radio
on our-
stations?
It'll be all over.
All over. Like
so
iHeartRadio and shit like that?
iHeartRadio.
Oh, so like what's that called? Like Sirius?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So that'll be the next phase for us. We're going to try to get it on the highway, new boots and stuff. So cross your fingers on that one. That one hasn't been confirmed yet as far as like Sirius XM, but it will be on like our iHeartRadio and all that stuff. So that'll be sweet. And then obviously like all local stations and stuff like that. So it'll be everywhere, and then streaming services as well. So
I actually want to talk to you about that too. As far as streaming services go, What's your name on Apple Music?
Nothing yet.
'Cause
But
I
it
couldn't
will
find
be
you.
Yeah, it'll be Cody Cozz. Like
Okay.
that's literally been the hardest thing for me, like as far as growth, and it's unbelievable that I've grown so much without having music out there.
What's the problem there? What's stopping
Just-
you?
Only been doing it for 2 years. My Nashville experience has only been a year.
I could help you get on. I'm on Apple. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google, all
Yeah.
that shit. I could help you.
They have their teams doing it.
Okay,
but
yeah, it's simple as DistroKid.
I know.
Literally $20
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah. So they're gonna do all that, and it's getting set up as we speak. We have a whole marketing plan and things like that. So
That's fire.
yeah, it's cool, and it's gonna be a little different. Like they have the ability to kind of make your stuff appear first, like when you look things up.
SEO. Yeah, like that's marketing shit right there. That's
exactly.
like, that's
So
that's what I went to school for.
okay, yeah. So you get it. So
Yeah.
So that's essentially what they're gonna be doing. But yeah, dude, it's awesome, but yeah, that's been the craziest thing. Like I said, like I'm a nominee for. I don't know if I'll win it. I'm hoping, cross my fingers, for a new artist of the year. But a lot of the people that I'm going up against are good artists, and they've been in it for a while, and a lot more years than I have, and they have songs out. Some of them have stuff out on the radio, kind of what I'll be doing, and so it's pretty nuts. And then just the short amount of time that I've been doing it, like it's like my Nashville stuff has been, shoot, I don't even know if it's been a full year. So as far as I don't know if I like to say I've been doing it for 2 years fully. Professionally, I don't know if I've been doing it that long. I think I will say yeah, because it'll be a year and 9 months in when the songs release. So February.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Wow. And you were saying before, like if you would always play Graham's Grill, even if you're the next like Luke Bryan, or I don't know what you said,
Yeah,
Luke Combs. Luke Combs. Luke Bryan's a guy though, right?
Yeah.
I know
Yep.
my
Luke
country
Bryan is
shit.
too.
People will watch this and be like, this guy don't know country. I know fucking
he got
country.
it.
I grew up in Pueblo. I know country, not as well as like maybe like the next guy, but I know my shit.
Yeah.
But damn, I kind of lost my point. But
Luke Bryan.
yeah, Luke.
Graham's Grill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How you'll always play that shit.
Totally.
No, I kind of lost it anyway. Still, anyway, but that's fire, man. Like I'm glad I got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And this interview, it's not your first interview, but you said it's your best. Damn near, I will say it's your best. I was doing a little bit of research, but this was kind of, we only had like what, I hit you up like 6 days ago.
Yeah.
And you were so fucking fast to reply. You personally, man, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
appreciate it.
yeah.
So, and it honestly, like I'm so loyal to this town. And like, obviously I didn't know you until today. I mean, we talked on social, but, that it's just like, that's how fast, like I consider you a friend. I'd love for you to come out to Nashville.
Oh, fuck no. We're we're friends, bro. We're friends. Like,
totally.
Yeah. We're going to definitely work after this.
Yeah, 100%. Because we have the same mindsets and stuff like that. And like, no, I mean, it's been a great experience. Like, I think that you as well are on to bigger and better things. And like, considering the short amount of time that you've been doing it and you're grinding, like you told me this is like your 50th episode or something, or
man,
you're in that bunch.
I have on YouTube, maybe 42, but in the vault. So I started doing Patreon episodes as well.
Okay.
So explicit content. I'll have exotic dancers, OnlyFans models in here.
Cool.
We'll do like
That's fucking
explicit
sick.
podcasts.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Topless podcasts, stuff like that. But you have to pay to get those. But that's a new avenue we got into for the new year.
Yeah.
Got into music reviews. That's another one. And then I want to start producing podcasts for other people.
Cool.
There's people in here in town that have, really good ideas. They just don't have the mics, the computers, the lights and shit. But like they got the personality, and for a podcast, that's truly all you need.
Yep.
Like, and if you're getting 20 views, 120, 20, 30 views, like I'm already monetized. We're making a penny per listen. So like
Awesome.
coming into like that machine already, quote unquote machine, like it's a big help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll promote the shit out of this then.
Fuck yeah, bro.
So
But Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to have you back.
Definitely.
Do you want to shout yourself out for the camera one more time, so where they can find you?
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm new in everything, so I'm not on like the streaming services yet, but I will be within the next month. Keep a lookout for my song. That first single's coming out. I hope I can make you guys fans of country music. And but my name's Cody Cozz. That's Cozz. And all my Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff is at Cody Cozz Music. And give me a follow because that'll help me out too. And so I appreciate you guys listening. And if you ever have questions whatsoever, like I'm an open book. Like I said, I'm not afraid to share my knowledge and stuff. And like I don't know how deep I am as far as the rap game goes, but my connections are very, very good. And I can try to get you in venues and stuff like that. So I support Pueblo musicians and artists so much. And I think that it's like we talked about, untapped potential. Pueblo's been so good to me, and I want to return that favor in any way that I can. Shout out to my team. You guys know who you are. And man, Street Champs is real. So thank you.
Hey, you heard it here first, folks. All right, guys. Cody Cozz, Street Champs. Follow us on Patreon, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Shout out to our sponsors, Big Bear Liquors and Rocky Mountain Blaze. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.